You are listening to the Live and Level Gamers podcast in association with FullEffectGaming.com. See, we don't play those games. We just play those games. Level head game. John Shaw, K-Bomb 20, D2K, Jedi Knight. The Live and Level Gamers podcast, where gamers come to talk.
What's up? It's your boy Levelhead back with another Live and Level Gamers podcast. You know how it is, so y'all need to get on up. Y'all need to wake up. It's about to go down right here in the middle of, where are we at? Google Hangout? Anyway, so I got a group of people here. Not everyone is here yet, so it'll be some people popping in probably a little bit later, but I'm gonna start letting these dudes introduce themselves. We are watching the VGAs live, so we might even chime on that a little bit. But started with Mr. Prime himself. Go ahead and introduce yourself, bro.
Hi, everybody.
All right, Mr. Keith, go ahead, man.
What's going on, everybody? Man, it's Keith, man.
Okay.
That was easy.
Who was that? Captain America, go ahead.
Yo, what's up, y'all? It's K-Bomb 20, man. Ready to get it in. Got some new people to get up in here for sure.
And one of our special guests, go ahead and introduce yourself, bro.
Hey, this the real Shadow Fox Prime, Shadow Fox Infinite, the Road Ninja K9 Descent. Let's get it.
Now, why you gotta say the real Shadow? Is it a fake Shadow out there or something?
So it's a long story. It's a long story dealing with like forums and stuff like that, fighting for the name and all that. So, yeah, real long story.
Imposter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, man, we welcome you to the Live and Level Gamers podcast. Want to help you feel welcome and comfortable, man. We're just gonna shoot it up, chop the breeze, get into some conversation, a little debate, all that. We're gonna keep it clean, mature, and because that's how we do it here, man. You know, like watch our language and all that type of stuff. That's why I wanted Shaw to be here, because I know Shaw, he go off in one of his rants and forget that he on the Live and Level Gamers podcast. Anyway, but man, we happy to have you on. Mizzah Tee supposed to be jumping on. He just let me know he'll be a little late, but he'll be jumping on here a little bit later. So this is how we started off, man. We first of all talk about what we've been gaming on. So since you are a guest, Shadow Fox, what have you been gaming on, man?
Oh man, everything. I've been playing Warframe and Knights of the Old Republic on well, not Knights of the Old Republic, Star Wars Old Republic on PC. I game a little bit of everywhere. Killer Instinct Killer Instinct 2 is my favorite game of all time. So I've been playing, a lot of Killer Instinct, Shadow Lords, playing online. Yeah,
fanfare for that one.
Oh yeah, on Xbox. I actually bought an Xbox One specifically for that game, $500 just for that. So,
man, yeah,
I'm a big fan of that. Playing on PS4 right now. I'm playing. Well, believe it or not, I'm playing Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, and I'm actually sold on the single player. It's pretty good. So for those of y'all that missed the single player being really, really good in Call of Duty, I recommend that one for you guys that miss it, since I would say it's the best one since Call of Duty 4. So I'll say, yeah, and it's got a little bit of a Mass Effect feel to it too. So for you guys that are fans of that, you might want to give it a look, just because it's got a little bit of that, a little taste of that in there. Other than that though, on Wii U, been playing all kind of stuff, a bunch of little indie games. Xenoblade, obviously, and Smash. I just played with Terminator Jews, Mizzah Tee, and Red Knight not too long ago. I think it was about this time last week. So I just been gaming on some of everything really, and playing 2 dots on my iPhone. That's it.
Two dots? That's a game?
Yeah, it's actually a game. You just line up 2 dots and everything falls down. It's like one of those fall down games. But if you get 4 dots in a square, it deletes all of that color on the screen, and you just try to get rid of those. And they have different objectives for each level. It's kind of like how Candy Crush is. Just one of those little occupy time kind of games.
Okay.
So yeah.
Hold up, man. My bad. Technical difficulties. Anyway, that's what's up. We already got a downvote. Look at that.
I got something to say to Shadow. I was asking a quick little question.
Oh, go ahead.
Hey, yo, you say you've been playing a single player, Call of Duty. Have you touched the multiplayer yet? No,
not yet. Typically, my rule of thumb is I always beat the single player if I even go online. That's kind of just how I play it. That's how I played. I only played a little bit of Modern Warfare 3, but Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2 always did. I ran through the single player first, and I usually try to play it on veteran, and I beat it on veteran. Get used to some of the perks and stuff that you get in the middle of the game, especially in Black Ops. And then when you go online, you're a little bit more accustomed. Yeah, I know the flow of the game is a lot faster when you're playing multiplayer, but at least you know what's what. So when you get drops and stuff, you know what to do with them.
All right, for sure.
Okay. Make sure you leave your questions down in the live chat. I'm trying to get it up on my phone just in case I don't with you guys, D2K or K-Bum or Keith, whoever. Kind of keep an eye on the live chat and see what people saying in the comment section. We can answer questions from there. But let's jump to D2K. What you been gaming on, man?
Well, I've been gaming on. I'm in on my retro kick right now. Tomorrow will be the first official edition of Retro Gaming Friday. Finally got the little intro done of After Effects and everything. So I've been uploading stuff here and there on fulleffectgaming.com. So tomorrow is going to be the real deal. I'm going to kick it in a high gear. I've been messing around with some of these emulators. There's a Wii U emulator called CEMU. I think it's just spelled CEMU. And I play Mario Kart 8 on this emulator on my PC, and I'm going to tell you, this Mario Kart 8 on the PC looks like it's rendered in Unreal Engine 4. It looks amazing. So if you ever get a chance to look, what's that?
You said this is an emulator?
Yeah, it's an emulator.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm like, man, this is just this man. They did, man. It just goes to show you what Nintendo was able to do with limited hardware with the Wii U. Just taking some jaggies off here and there makes the game look spectacular. But other than that, just been playing normal stuff. I mean, last Thanksgiving I had to line up all 3 of my nephews and take them out to the woodshed on Madden.
That's what I'm talking about, cuz.
Get off them sticks.
21 nothing.
You see how he just laid that in there. I had to take him out to the wood. Just casually laid that in the middle of all that.
Well, that's how I was, because I wasn't looking to play. They were like, man, we're going to get you to do this. I'm like, okay, I'm quiet. I can't even play the team. I just picked the Giants. And I was like, step up to the mic. Boom, boom. Step up to the mic. Boom, boom. You too? Boom, 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 boom.
Hey, get a PS. We trying to do a league with me, Level, and a Jedi.
Okay. Yeah, man, I got to get my online back, man. Mine just expired, so I got to go and renew it.
Pay that money.
Yeah, I got to pay that money, man.
What y'all playing, Madden? Y'all playing Madden on PlayStation or Xbox?
PlayStation.
PS4. Okay.
Yeah. No, me is Xbox One.
Oh, okay.
Well, I already said you need to give it the programs. I'm trying to say.
Anything else, D2? Anything else you've been gaming outside and taking people out to the woods shack or whatever?
Shed, man.
The wood shed.
Wood shed and wood shack. Both of them plugs. No, that's about it. Yeah.
Okay. Keith, what you been gaming on, man?
Hey, before I start, Shadow Fox, you said you playing Killer Instinct on Xbox. You bought it, paid $500. How do you feel that it is on PC?
No, I'm good. Like I actually want to try it on PC. I want to see if they do the thing where you can transfer your save. That'll be great. I know they talking about the Play Anywhere thing, but I want to see if it actually works. So if I sign in, all my stuff is on there. Like I'm perfectly fine with that. The only issue I have with is, I want my fight stick to work everywhere. So I have to either get one of those little dongle things that emulates whatever your joystick's supposed to be, so it works everywhere, or either build my own stick and mod a controller or something. But that's the only problem I got. Other than that, wherever they show up, I'm playing them.
I was expecting a different answer.
Nah, I'm not. I'm not that type of dude, man. Like a lot of people. So, and before we get to the debate thing, I want to make something like super clear. I am like, I won't say equal opportunity, but I'm not like a lot of my videos will probably be Nintendo focused because Nintendo is the whipping boy. Usually most of the time, like nobody's really like super duper talking major trash about the PS4 or the Xbox One in the gaming media right now. That's just not a thing. Yeah. So typically what I'm doing there is just talking about the other side, basically the devil's advocate side of things, because people kind of get confused in popular opinion a lot. And I'm typically the person that I want a game, I'm going to make sure I'm able to get it. I don't want to ever be that person that walks in the GameStop and they're like, this is the new hot new game. And then I go to get it and they're like, oh, well, this only on PS4, right? And every time I go there and somebody tells me something like that, I'm like, oh, so give me the game. I want to be able to, I'll just play it on whatever I'll typically have whatever I need to play it on at home. That's the way I always want to be. So Nintendo Switch comes out, I'm buying that. If a new Xbox comes out that only has games that can be played on it, I'll be getting that too. So that's just how it is for me. So I don't want anybody to think that's a little bit different. Typically when somebody does like quote unquote Nintendo defense videos, you think they're the weeaboo fanboy that only plays Nintendo stuff and I never touch anything. Nah, not that dude.
Okay,
that's cool.
All right. What I've been gaming on is Watch Dogs 2. I got it on PC. I downloaded it when it came out Tuesday, and I didn't really play the first one. I played a little bit of the first one on my friend's house, and it was okay. But this one already to me seems a whole lot better. Plus,
nah, it wasn't okay. Don't say
okay.
that.
Well, never mind.
I want that game. I've been hearing a lot of good things about that game.
And I'm not gonna lie, I like the fact that it's a black protagonist, and
that's rare.
That helps.
I'm just being honest.
Has anybody has the Game Awards froze on you guys? It's frozen on me.
Not yet.
That's your janky internet, bro.
Go ahead, Keith. My bad.
Yeah, but yeah, I think it's a whole lot better this time around. And I've been playing on this indie game, and how do I say this? Kapu. It's on Steam. It's like the little guy looks like Martian, Marvin the Martian or whatever, and he got like this little sword, and he was going through like the open overworld is like a Mario map or whatever, and you have to go to like different little stages. Other than that, that's all I've been gaming on.
Okay. K-Ball?
I still been gaming on a lot of stuff, man. My GameFly list is pretty hype, pretty lit right now. So I got a little bit of everything. So I've been playing right now. I'm trying to play 2K. I'm doing a bad job at it. So I'm playing 2K. I'm still playing Madden. So I'm still getting that in, whooping cats online still. I'm undefeated this season. Playing Call of Duty. Actually did, pretty good yesterday online, surprisingly. Cause that game is a super Twitch online. I mean, it's a real Twitch shooter, not even a little bit.
You talking about Infinite Warfare, right?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. You got that slide now.
It's Twitch, man. I can't. I mean, I did straight. I was first place twice in a row last time I played, but it's still, you know what I'm saying? You got to be on your P's and Q's with that game.
Yeah.
But I'm playing that Overwatch. Still playing that game, man. They got the new season just started, so I got back into that. So I'll be playing that for the new season, trying to get my rank up. And that's probably it.
Okay, that's what's up. As far as me, Man, I just went out on a few days before Black Friday. I went and picked up a Sony, what they call those, the Bravo or Bravio or something like that.
Bravia.
Bravia.
You call everything for the right name.
Yeah, but what it was, I picked up the 55-inch 4K HDR. It's the X80 850 D series, man. It's pretty dope. So with that, I bought a few movies, and I bought that they had at Target, they had Ratchet and Clank for the PlayStation 4 on sale for $15. So I picked that up.
Well, before you keep going, did you get a chance to see Doctor Strange yet?
Oh yes, we can talk that too. Yes, I went and saw Doctor Strange. Yes, I can talk it now.
You in the village? Or just you and the wife?
Me and the wife, man. What? K-Ball, come on, man. Let me talk about my family, man. Let me talk about my kids, man.
I'm just saying.
I got a village. What's up, Mizzah Tee, man? Welcome to the show. I see you just popped in.
Hello? Hey, fellas, my bad. I was muted.
Oh, okay. Welcome, man. But yeah, I went and picked that up. And so I brought it to the house. Of course, when I hooked it up, it automatically noticed that I had an HDR device hooked to the TV. So I went through the whole settings and the getting it all set up. And dude, I'm literally a believer now. Like the HDR stuff is legit. I didn't think it was legit, just like I didn't think virtual reality would be legit. But after playing Oculus and playing Vive, I'm like, dude, this stuff is legit. And it really blew me away, man, the way that the stuff looked, even on the PlayStation 4. Not a Pro. I don't see, this still make me wonder what was the purpose of the Pro. Because this stuff looks good right from the PlayStation 4, man. But anyway, I ain't gonna mess with that. If you want a Pro, go get you a Pro. No, nothing wrong with wanting to be a Pro and feeling like a Pro, even though you're a novice. But go ahead and go get it. Anyway, so I played that. I'm still playing that Gears of War. Can't play through it long because it's upstairs, and my twins. One of my twins just can't handle me playing that game. Every time she see it come on, she freak out. So I haven't been able to finish it. So now I can't get to my man cave, but when I do the podcast, so I'm down here now, but I'm on the podcast. So I might get some Gears of War in before I go to bed. Also, I lost all my data on the Wii U.
Wow.
I bought me a new receiver. Yes, man. I lost everything. I was hooking up my new receiver. I bought a 4K HD receiver with all the, so now, with the Wii U, it had that true HD, so you couldn't hear surround sound unless you had a receiver that can receive that signal. So I'm hooking it up, and I get it hooked up, and it just blank out, and then it reboots, and erase all my games, all my saved data, everything. And I was about to play Mario Kart, and I don't have the mirror. I don't have all the DLC that I bought. I don't have nothing. So I had to call Nintendo. They stepped me through how to upload all the games and stuff and the DLC back on. But it's like every game I got is from scratch. Yeah, wow. Man. So I ain't even.
So Nintendo doesn't have a cloud save system then.
I was just about to say that.
Not that I don't think so, because Shaw was asking me the same thing, and I was like, man, if they do, I don't know about it. So I lost everything, man.
It's not cloud save. You can use multiple hard drives at once, but there's no cloud save. And if you don't save it to the memory on the Wii U, the 8 gig or the 32, you're pretty much screwed, because it has to be on there for it to read it. It can't just be on the hard drive. It's got to be on that flash.
Yeah. So I'm basically, every game I got, the ones that I beat, what I haven't finished is I was upset for a fleeting second And I was like, you know what, whatever. It's
Until you
all
realize
good.
it's a dead system anyway. And then you done.
You know, well, whatever.
We're saving that for later.
Anyway.
I stirred the pot.
Now
I'll put my fork in there and everything.
I've been gaming on like I said, lost all my data on the Wii U. Really enjoying Ratchet & Clank. This is my first time really playing Ratchet & Clank. I played one on the PlayStation 3. No, the PlayStation 2. I didn't care for it much when I was playing on it then, but I don't know, man. I'm really enjoying this one. Madden. That's about it, man. So let's jump over to Mizzah Tee, man, since you just jumping in. What you been gaming on, bro?
What's up, fellas? Just got a PS4 Slim bundle with the Uncharted. So I've been playing that.
Oh, that game is awesome.
Yeah, you came up.
Yeah, 200. So that was nice. Couldn't turn that down. Xenoblade, I'm still grinding. I'm on the last boss. I still haven't. All I got to do is go fight the boss and beat it. But there's a part of me that's just like, I don't want to finish the game yet.
Dude, the game don't start till you beat it, man. Come on.
I know. So I've been playing that, and Pokemon Moon I've been playing a lot. Just got that, so it's mostly what I've been playing.
Okay. Oh, well, you just cut off right in the middle of. I thought you were still going. Okay, so.
Oh no, that was it.
That's what's up. All right. So let's go ahead and start this podcast, man. Every now and again, we're gonna speak on the whole VGA thing, because they got Michael Phelps up here. What's wrong?
Nah, I'm just glad. To me, the Game Awards is great because they had Killer Mike up there. I was telling Cape, I'm like, man, I can't believe they had Killer Mike up there. I can't believe that. I'm so surprised he didn't say nothing about Black Lives Matter. And I was ready for him to go into it, man, but he didn't do it. Said he let me down on that. But anyway, I wasn't like, they say something about Trump. He finna say something about Trump and all this racism and all, and he didn't even do none of it. I was like, oh, Killer Mike, you up here talking about killing people babies and stuff, man. How you gonna be talking about killing people babies? Then talking about Black Lives Matter, man. You got to get your messages together. Anyway, but let's get into it, man. We got Mizzah Tee on, and we got Shadow Fox on. We have a few little things we wanted to talk about. We're gonna do it in mature. Maybe this could be an example for the whole community. This is how, even though you have difference of opinion, different perspectives, different views, you can talk it out, civilized, and still enjoy each other's topics, point of views, and everything, even though we disagree. So,
nope, I'm throwing blows.
So, first of all, let's start. Me and Shadow Fox. I did a video. I start with Shadow Fox and the whole Wii U success or failure thing. Now, I made a video titled "It's Time to Stop Downplaying the Importance of Third Party." And what I was saying in this video was that, in my opinion, and looking in hindsight, that in my opinion, it's time to stop, from a Nintendo aspect or perspective, to stop looking at third party as if it's not an important, needed role player in Nintendo and other companies being successful. Like I always say the statement that Nintendo it can survive without third party, but it can't thrive without third party. And that's what I have come to believe over the years, looking at what took place with the GameCube, what took place with the Wii U. Of course, the Wii was an anomaly, and it did what I don't think Nintendo thought the Wii was going to do what it did. But looking at the trend from the N64, GameCube, Wii U, everything was on a decline, and each system got less and less third-party support. Maybe I would say the N64 and GameCube kind of had, I would say, comfortable third-party support. they didn't have what Sony and Dreamcast and now Sony and Microsoft had. But on both those counts, there was a decent amount of third party there. But with the Wii U, this was the first time, in my opinion, that Nintendo was literally left out on their own island with their own system to do whatever they chose to do. And we saw the least sales of all time with any Nintendo platform. So I was looking at it like maybe we as Nintendo fans, all of us here that are Nintendo fans, need to stop downplaying third party's relevance in creating a successful system and an attractive system. So with that being said, Shadow Fox disagreed, and I'm going to give him the platform, and I want to let him have his opportunity before you interrupt him. Let him get out what he feels is error with my statement, and then we can kind of dissect it, and then we'll jump to the whole port thing, and then we'll bring. And Mizzah Tee, you can jump in this too if you want to, bro. It's however you want to do it. But so just go ahead, Shadow Fox. The floor is yours.
All right. So in the rebuttal video that I did with you, the entire premise was assuming that success was a defined term, and kind of, I guess, more of what you were trying to say was based upon the metric that you decided to use, which was console sales. That is the metric of success. I'm gonna guess that's what you're going by, right?
That's not only what I'm going by, but yeah, you can use that. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So well, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a success or not, or a failure or not, because and basically what I was saying in the video was that there are multiple things that determine a success. And I don't want to write a business book or talk about a business book or anything like that, but I have a very strong reason to believe Nintendo made a crap load of money off of the Wii U. Namely because of a lot of things that aren't talked about that much. Like we talk about the 13 million over and over and over again. That is, we don't know how many. Well, I know. Well, I kind of follow it a little bit. But if you take a look at the eShop, and I know you were saying before, hey, that don't count, and I kind of mentioned that in my video as well. However, what you're talking about is, and I don't know if you guys have done research on this, but the average price for a Nintendo development kit, period, whether you're 3DS and up, is anywhere between $3,000 to $5,000. And these are people that commit to creating content for this platform. They've already bought in. Nintendo gets paid that off the rip. That's not counting what they pay to get stuff distributed on eShop or to get stuff distributed, hardware goods on disc to be put brick and mortar in the store somewhere.
Hold up. Reggie on stage. Hold up. I ain't
they about to do Zelda and stuff right now. So no, it's okay.
Go ahead. No, go and finish your point. But hey, man, I might yell a point in the middle. Go ahead.
I'm
go ahead, Shadow. My
man.
man. I ain't mean to interrupt you, but I saw Reggie and had to wait. Hold up, man. Wait a minute. Go ahead. Finish your point.
Nah, they probably about to show. They're about to show that Zelda again. I'm kind of wanting to look too. I wasn't paying attention.
Oh, shut up, K-Bum, man. Let me be my Nintendo self. Yeah, I hear you over there talking that Yang. I hear you.
Talking what Yang?
Yeah. I appreciate you interrupting me, Lovo, because I was really about to talk over this, and I got to see this now.
What is wrong with Reggie haircut? Why does this man want to get this haircut fixed, man?
I say for those who can't see, let's give him a play-by-play now.
He's worked for, was it Nike he worked for before he was CEO?
He was working for Pizza Hut.
Yeah,
Pizza Hut. That's okay.
Pizza Hut.
He came up with the Big New Yorker and the Bigfoot pizza.
Okay.
Oh, he's famous.
Yeah. In my
I hope you all enjoyed the game.
And he was at VH1 too.
Oh yeah, okay.
Can we enjoy it before next summer?
Can y'all hear that?
You behind me though.
Yeah, it's in my surround sound is up forward. I don't want.
What was this other cat?
I want that T-shirt though.
I'm not even watching.
So this is the VU version.
This is the which one?
This is the Wii U version.
Okay.
Hey, Nate Bildorf. We're here from Nintendo's Treehouse to give the world its next look at The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And we are on a quest trying to find a shrine.
Are we first stopping for this?
Another shrine.
And here we have
What did you say, K-Bob?
I said, are we for real stopping the podcast for this?
Hey, man.
K-Bomb the hitter, man.
Let me ask an honest question, though.
Bill Trenton said, what's up?
Well, this is real video games here.
I'm just saying.
Wait a minute.
Shrine sleeps in the forest. Okay, we got this.
That's a big old bird.
That's the serpent's head right there. Good.
Yeah, we must be in different spots because we
I'm watch it later.
No,
They
they keep jumping from scene to scene. I thought they were just gonna do a straight.
What's that?
So we're gonna do that thing. We did that thing. In general, I think two-handed weapons like claymores.
What?
So what's happening?
Nothing.
Did you turn it off, D2?
I'm watching it. I'm like, he goes through a screen and they pick a dish for him to eat, and then he just moves his hands around like he's eating something.
Cooking Mama, Zelda style.
Cooking.
I mean, the game look good though. I ain't gonna lie about that.
Oh yeah, no shadow.
Yeah, it do, man.
That lighting is good.
Oh,
Yeah.
Bill.
And that is on the almighty Week U, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I just got through talking about earlier about how, even with that little weak sauce system, Nintendo can do some amazing stuff.
All I know is when God of War come on, I need y'all to shut up too then. So that's all I know.
Let's do that,
We're
man.
gonna shut up and hold
I heard,
hands
aren't they
and
supposed to be
sing
doing the
Kumbaya.
PlayStation Experience thing in a couple of days?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's probably what they'll do that.
They need to show more
All
Horizon too.
All right, let's get back to this, man. Hold on.
Thank God.
All right, I'll watch it later.
Nobody want to hear about no video games and a video game.
That's what I'm talking about.
Who is that talking?
We want the politics, man.
All right, let's go, man. Because I'm watching. Because I gotta focus on it, man. I can't focus and do this. So let me go ahead. Go ahead, finish what you saying. I ain't gonna.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so my whole thing was that with regard to Nintendo being a success, chances are they don't already made a grip anyway. Like, and they do not operate in a situation where they throw a system out there and they're literally broke from it. So, and if anybody is a master at this, they are, because they've been doing it for almost 30 years now. And that's what they pride themselves on. They profit off their hardware, so they don't have to worry about 50 million sales of a video game to make up for it. In this case, it was one, and that was the back and forth me and D2K got into over that, because Reggie had already said before the console launched with the sale of one game that that the console is profitable, and unless nobody bought a game for Wii U from the time that it was from 2012 when it launched to 2014 when they reported that the console itself was being profitable, they made money. So, and if anybody took the time to look at from 2012 to 2014, well, in the first 3 months of that console being on the market, it had already tripled the amount of games that it sold versus the amount of hardware out there. 9 million games versus 3 million consoles in 3 months' time. So they making bread. Okay. And you know what the software tie-in ratio is now? It's around 7.5, almost 8 games per console. So that's one of the highest
that
Nintendo's had in a while.
You look at my shelf, you can literally see that.
Yeah.
But like I say, man,
you trying to single-handed support Nintendo.
Yeah, we all will. But this will be my only pushback to that is I would say, yes, that is a way of measuring success, but my measurement far as with the Wii U was what Nintendo wanted to do with the Wii U, what their expectation for the Wii U was. And by that measurement, I don't think in their mind the Wii U was successful for them. I'm not saying it didn't make them money or it didn't cause them to go broke, but what they projected and what they wanted to sell, clearly the Wii U did not do that.
Oh, and no, I'm not going to argue with that. I'm gonna agree with that because they said what 100 million they wanted to sell because they thought it was gonna be another Wii. Yeah, that didn't happen.
I don't know why they thought that. But.
Yeah, it might have been foolish, but from that mindset and from that angle, Nintendo's messaging, like like the Miyamoto interview with Forbes, I think it was with Forbes or whoever. He said in the interview that the Wii U failed to resonate. It failed to connect with consumers. It failed to penetrate into the consumer's mind to want to buy this. It wasn't appealing to them. So by that measurement, while the Wii U was making them money on every console sold, if you bought a game, it wasn't making them the money that they told investors. It wasn't making them the money that they projected. And in their eyes, and I would say in my own eyes, liking the Wii U and enjoying the Wii U, it wasn't successful. So that's what I was saying. And I felt like third party was one of the major contributors to the Wii U not being appealing to not only gamers, but Nintendo gamers. And I also think the fact that they didn't bring a lot of the first party titles that people wanted, like Zelda Breath of the Wild, still is not here. It's probably not. It's not coming to the Switch. Is here. So a lot of these games missed that platform, which was also a headache and a droughts. But I feel like third party had a major stake in why the Wii U failed. So that's what I was saying. But go ahead.
Now, in that sense, I completely agree with that. However, there's two caveats to that. The first was the expectations. Didn't Microsoft say they expected to sell 200 million Xbox Ones or something like that? So I'm guessing in that sense, they will be under that same logic. They will be considered a failure or whatever, I guess, based on that, because that's what they decided to do. And then the other aspect of that, man, they didn't do it. And one of the biggest reasons that I don't think anybody really touched on this, but I should probably do a video on this. Nintendo never committed to a price drop, not once. I guess because they wanted to keep whatever profit that they were getting. But there's no reason for the PlayStation 4 to be cheaper than the Wii U at retail right now. There's no reason.
I agree with that.
And I do believe if they got to the point where they could eat whatever it was to get to that $199 or even $149 price point, we might be talking a completely different story here, regardless of whatever issues it had.
I mean, far as the Microsoft, I don't know. I don't know what Microsoft. Go ahead, K-Bomb. You want to jump in because I don't.
Yeah. I want to go jump in on this, and so that's some feedback with somebody, but that's cool. I know you talk about Microsoft, and the thing is, you really can't. In Microsoft,
hold up, K-Bomb. Everybody mute, and we can see.
You heard the echo?
Yeah, I can hear it too.
Yeah.
Maybe that's me.
Hello. Feedback.
That's
hello?
key. Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Just when everybody talking, keep just muting. Then when you ready to talk, come back in.
That'll work. Man, I'm coming out. I've been on mute. Feedback.
He been on mute, ain't him?
Oh, it ain't him.
So is it me then?
Mute yourself, Shadow.
Hello. Feedback.
Yes, you, Shadow. So just when you ready to talk, just unmute, and I know I'm watching. So when you unmute, I'll let you go. Go ahead, K-Bon.
Okay. Even talking about so we're talking about the Xbox One. I don't think anyone in Microsoft can tell you that the Xbox One was not underperforming. I don't think anyone will deny that in Xbox camp. That's why they push so hard to remove the Kinect. They push so hard to drop the price. They moved so hard to do those things to the Xbox because it was not performing in the way that they thought it was. So at this point, I don't think they're going to call it a failure, but it was definitely underperforming from their aspect. But they made the moves to salvage what they could. You know what I'm saying? They acknowledged what they had, which was a product that wasn't doing what it was supposed to. But then they made the moves to try to salvage what they had. But going back to what we're talking about with the Wii U, when we talk about success and failure, I'm not going to go in full definitions, but understanding what the word success means. Success means an accomplishment according to a purpose and an aim, or it's achieving something to a desired aim or aspiration. So it's a goal. In order to have success, you have to have a goal. And the thing is, success is actually meeting or surpassing that goal. So if you, I'm not even taking that 100 million thing. That was just said in a room with people. That's not. I don't know how legit that is. What I would take is a statement they made back, a forecast they made which is a forecast they made back in April, that they were going to sell, I think 9 million units that they were going to sell by the end of I think by springtime of 2014. They're supposed to have 9 million units, but then they said, well, we're only think we're going to get 2.8. The thing is, and that trend continued for the life cycle of the Wii U, and that's where I mark success and failure. When you have a goal that you're constantly trying to set, you're constantly trying to meet, and you're constantly missing that mark of that goal. And I can assure you they would completely agree with that. It not even was it just the console sales, it was also the software sales. In the same article, they talk about how the software sales were expected to be 38 million, but they only got 19. It's not just that the number is smaller, it's also how much smaller the number is. 9 million consoles sold expected, and to what they actually sold, which is about 2 to 3, and then the 38 million software titles sold only 19 that it ended up selling. It's not just the number being lower, it's how much lower it is. And I can assure you, like, just making a profit, just making money off of something does not make it a success. Because you have to understand, if I'm a big baller, you know, so I got major money, and if I have something I'm expecting to make $10 million on it, I will promise you, if I profit $1 million and I expected 10, I'm mad. Yeah, I made profit. Yeah, I make some money, but I'm not making what I expected. My goal, my aim, and that's why I would say that. I don't know if I was supposed to save this for the whole Wii U failure thing. Well, I would lean on the failure side, it's because they constantly miss the mark that they set themselves, and you go back and look at all the little articles of them going back and say, we got to change our forecast. We got to change our forecast. We got to change our forecast, because the Wii U was underperforming and did not meet any expectation they had.
Can I get a?
Go ahead, D2.
I mean, I agree with both points. Shadow Fox has some good points I agree with, and I agree with what K-Bomb just said too. By the legal definition, the Wii U was not a commercial failure, because a commercial failure is something that leads to actual financial collapse and possible bankruptcy, and that's obviously not happening with Nintendo. So the Wii doesn't fit in that category by the legal definition. This is what Wikipedia says about a commercial failure. This is their definition. A commercial failure for a video game hardware platform is generally defined as a system that either fails to become adopted by a significant portion of the gaming marketplace or fails to win significant mind share of the target audience, and may be characterized by significantly poor international sales and general financial unviability of development or support. That's the Wii U in a nutshell right there. I don't know if that's what they were thinking about when they wrote that, or whoever wrote that, because anybody can sneak into Wikipedia and change it. I could change it right now if I wanted to. So you can take that with a grain of salt, but that does sound a lot like the Wii U. You know, it seems like Nintendo, I mean, they didn't set out to sell 13 million. You know, they set out to sell, I'm pretty sure the actual number they had was more realistic than 100 million. I'm sure. Right. I mean, you don't want, I mean, you obviously want to do that again. What company wouldn't want to do the same thing or better? But I'm pretty sure that Iwata and all the people, all the board of directors and all their investors were not stupid enough to think that they were going to get that same number again. They just hoped that they could. But even if they said, okay, let's just do half of that, that's still a long way from where the Wii U actually is, you know.
Yeah, PS4 ain't even at half of that yet. Not yet.
Exactly. But I mean, but the thing is, PS4 is at times, I don't know if it's there right now, but at times the PS4 was tracking faster than the PS2 in terms of sales. And that's the best selling console, period. So, you know, it's I mean, I said in the comment section in response, to Shadow Fox, I said that, it's really up to them to determine what they deem to be a success or failure.
Yeah, true. That's what I said in the video too.
Yeah, Nintendo, they don't lose money on hardware. That's just part of their MO. It's not something that they just do. It's like LeBron James is not going out there to score 5 points a game. He's going to get at least 5. If he doesn't get more, if he gets 35 or 45 or 55, he's going to at least get that 5. So him saying that I got 5 points, that's not a success for him. But he knows he's going to get that. And just like Nintendo, they know they're going to make money on their hardware because they've been doing this longer than anybody else. They understand how to cut manufacturing costs, to use the right type of materials and get the right companies to be able to get the best price for their hardware so that they can either sell it at cost or make a small profit. And if there is a situation where you are selling at a loss, which the Wii U was in the console alone, you have a plan in place to where that loss is not hurting you, which is what Shadow Fox brought up with the Reggie said, you buy a game that's tying in. If you buy a game, then that makes up for whatever loss the console has being sold on its own.
Yeah, the difference was like $40 or something like that per unit or whatever they were losing. So yeah.
Nobody was buying a Wii U base and just going home with that. Nobody did.
Yeah, nobody was doing that.
Yeah, so let me let Keith jump in here because I know he. Go ahead, Keith. Man, you got anything you want to share on this?
Yeah, I think D2K hit the head on the nail on the head when he said the mind share. This is, to me, I think this is the first time I've ever seen, and maybe y'all can chime in on this one, but this is the first time I've seen the Nintendo community so divided when the Wii U came along. And I think, like you said, the Wii U failed to capture the audience. It was like, we want to continue doing what the Wii did, and we think we can, keep making that money. But then toward the end of the Wii's life cycle, Nintendo was starting to hurt with the fan base. It was like, man, there's nothing to play for about 2 or 3 years, except what was it, Skyward Sword, I think. And then the Wii U came along, and people were already kind of hesitant to like jump in, like let me wait and see, and nothing really big came along. So I think he was right on that one. And I kind of think that's what you were trying to say originally.
That's what I was saying. I didn't go into like the detail like Mr. Encyclopedias over here, but what I was saying was just based on like D2K said, Nintendo's actions with the Wii U points to a company that believes or feels that this system was a failure. Now, it wasn't a failure in the sense that Nintendo is going to collapse because, like you said, Nintendo is smart enough to make their hardware to where when they sell it, they're making money on it regardless. They're always gaining, but they wasn't gaining at the measurements or the amount or the projections that, like K-Bum said, they had set for goals. I don't believe they really thought they was going to sell 100 million because we all know that the Wii was an anomaly. Nintendo does enough R&A with their fan base, with folks that they're trying to reach in the blue ocean strategy and all that stuff. Nintendo knows how the sway of the market is going. I won't say all the time, but with what they're trying to do. And I'm pretty sure they sat down, they tested this stuff. They got in front of the market they was trying to target. And so this system just for some reason just did not do what they projected to do. Miyamoto said it was because of the tablets and the fact that they came late to the market and the tablets had already integrated and was a part of the family household. Reggie.
Yeah, you can't blame Apple.
He's wrong on that one. But
no, I ain't saying. I'm just saying what he said.
I know.
Then and you can elaborate on that too. Let me say this right quick, and then I'll give it to you, Mizzah Tee. I remember Reggie saying, and this used to bother me. Reggie would always say, if our software moves hardware, if we can generate more software, we can sell more hardware, and then we can attract third party. That's what he kept saying every time somebody would ask him a question about this game not coming or that game not coming. I know he the best spin artist there is, and he's perfect for what he does, but it was like, dude, man, y'all are not selling any hardware, so just where I got to a place was I just wanted Nintendo to just stop and say, look, we messed up. We misjudged the market. We misstepped with the Wii U and all our projections, and we got a new thing coming. We have faith in us. They never would do it. They kept talking as if everything was fine, and it was like, dude, you're doing more damage than you are helping. But and the thought to Mizzah Tee, those was the things that let me know the Wii U was a failure. I love the Wii U. I think it's a great system, but the company failed that system, and that's been my position for a while. Go ahead, Mizzah Tee.
Well, real quick, I don't want to cut Miss T off, but so basically, what you were saying was your original intent of the video was that Nintendo's major failure was both in mind share and them not handing off the torch from Wii in a glorious, I guess, light.
I would say my share was one, and Nintendo not addressing. I made the video, the elephant in the room. Nintendo not addressing the elephant in the room with the Wii U. That they failed with it, that they misstepped, that they misjudged. And go ahead, you just finna say something?
Well, the Iwata said as much about that as not being a worthy handoff, because he literally said that the Wii U was not a worthy successor to the Wii. Period.
Right. Yeah. And I would go with what Kimishima said. He said we try to get as far away from the Wii brand as possible. Now, is that true? No. But he did say that. So so the second part of my video. Oh well, Mizzah Tee was going to say something. Go ahead, man. I don't want to.
Oh no, to quickly touch on what y'all were talking about earlier. Is I think y'all just talking about two sides of the same coin, because it's like it wasn't a commercial failure and it wasn't a financial failure, but it was definitely a market failure. You know,
right?
Like
that's been my position. Market.
I'm not arguing that at all. It was definitely a market failure.
Right, and I mean that's why one reason why, because I made a video about Wii U price cut doesn't make sense a while back, and they didn't want to do what Sega did with the Dreamcast by selling it way cheaper just to get a few more million sales, because at the end of the day they were going to end up losing way more money just to get rid of stock. And Nintendo, I mean, the Wii U sells monthly about 50,000 units or so. And I don't think they have that many,
between 20 and 50.
20, yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah. I don't think they have that many left, and they're like, well, let's just slowly sell these at this price and
keep all the profit
and keep all the profit. They're trying to maximize their profit right now.
Right.
Where Sega was just trying to get rid of stock. They're not there. They're not at that point.
Right.
Nintendo wasn't. So, but yeah, so on that, but, now I forgot what I was going to talk about. What was the last part of what we were talking about?
With the third party, I still had.
That's where I was finna go. I hadn't set it up yet, but go ahead.
Okay, yeah, that is the failure of the Wii U. Like, well, basically the failure of the Wii U is that, and Nintendo, Miyamoto tried to hand it off and talk about, what do you say, tablets and all that. That wasn't the problem. The problem with the Wii U is that it didn't have any momentum going into it. Like most Nintendo consoles, right. Even the GameCube had momentum from the N64. And, GameCube didn't penetrate as much as the N64 did, but it still had a lot of goodwill. A lot of people loved the N64. A lot of kids.
Right.
And so it, even though they didn't get to the 33 million, it still got a pretty core base of 22 million that GameCube did. And the Wii didn't have, or the Wii U didn't have that, because the Wii was just dead. It was just, it was just dead by the time Wii U came out.
It was officially done in 2010. Everybody waited around in 2011 for one Zelda game, and that was it.
Right. And that's when the Wii U should have dropped, probably 2011 at the latest.
I said that. I said Wii U should have dropped that in 2000. And
Zelda should have been delayed and made into a launch title for the Wii U.
The Zelda that they showed in 2011 should have been
Zelda. No, I'm talking about Zelda.
Skyward
Sword.
Yeah, that should have led straight into Wii U.
Right. And that again speaks to not going into it. They should have put a Wii remote in the console. Like they should have carried that over and like I said, led with Skyward Sword. If they're gonna call it the Wii U, don't be afraid of the Wii. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it didn't make a whole lot of sense. And they, Nintendo fumbled into HD development. They admitted it later that they didn't realize how difficult it was gonna be for that transition, because they were riding that Wii gravy train for so long.
The fixed function hardware.
Right. And they were like, whoa. And that's why it didn't recover. Like, I talk about the 3DS and how it was the first year. A lot of people say, oh, yeah, well, the price and all that. Yeah, it was expensive. But the main thing was there wasn't really anything at launch that was compelling. Right. The games weren't that compelling yet. It didn't start hitting its stride until Zelda Ocarina of Time came out in June of 2011. And then they hit us with Mario Kart 7. That was huge. And then Mario 3D Land. The price cut helped, but they needed those games. And Wii U could have been saved had they had the same effect. But because of the HD development, I would guarantee you that Mario Kart was supposed to be a 2013 game.
Oh, more than likely.
Right.
I don't doubt it.
I wouldn't doubt that. And they delayed a couple of games that were supposed to be in the launch window because of the HD development stuff. So they stumbled out of the gate to begin with, and that just didn't help with the momentum that they already didn't have coming out of the Wii. And a lot of that stuff snowballed. So
and that's, I agree with that wholeheartedly, that the Wii was dead by time. The Wii was dead for maybe two and a half years before the Wii U even hit the market, and Nintendo didn't have a title there that would attract folks that wasn't diehard fans.
Right.
So, depending, because 2010 they had like 3 heavy hitters, like right in November, like all competing against each other in November. I don't know how they did that, but
just imagine
it was GoldenEye, Donkey Kong, and something else. I forgot what else. It was like 3 that year. It's Super Mario Galaxy.
Didn't the Metroid come out too? The other
Metroid came out, other M came out. Like, imagine Nintendo said, all right, we're dropping Wii U in 2011. Imagine like it launches and there's Metroid Other M. It wasn't that great of a game, but it's still a Metroid game to me. A lot of people still like it. Metroid Other M is still a big game. Skyward Sword comes, and don't forget the Operation Rainfall games. Like those were dropped really late in the Wii and the Wii's life cycle. Those could have been huge for Wii U in the beginning. Those first 6 months. If you got like Xenoblade Chronicles on Wii U, like the first one, like that would have been a huge game for it. And because they were still like, oh, we got to stick to this, and rightfully so. In some points, it's 100 million install base. You want to feed that, but they just weren't. They didn't want to come out of that gravy train, and that it slowed everything else down that came after. Messed up the Wii U's first year, and that was just bad momentum.
Yeah. Now I will say they have met projections. I know D2K was talking about projections earlier, or whatever, or was that K-Ball? Okay, so K-Ball was talking about projections with with Microsoft and stuff like that. Now Nintendo, once they had to revise the first 2 years or whatever their projections were on the Wii U, they were on track or a little bit over with regards to that. The only thing that they were down on was profit. They lost money the year the Wii U came out due to R&D, and then after that, everything, and that was their first profit loss since I forgot the last time it happened. I don't know. It was a couple consoles ago, but they haven't really done that often, and all the quote unquote operational losses were never net losses. So they were just projecting a certain amount of profit that they were thinking they were going to get, and they either didn't get that much or they got less. And at this time, also Nintendo was also acquiring new studios, building new buildings, and I don't know if they were expecting Wii U to pay for all of that at some point, but somehow they got behind, and they were putting all this stuff together that eventually would make what I guess is going to support the Switch when it comes out. But they had all that in line, and they were really betting on it, and it also didn't help that the exchange rate was absolute I can't say that word right now, but
it was just a bad market time. It was a bad time in the.
Let me jump
go ahead.
here on. Go ahead. Go, DGK.
But based off of what they were been saying, I think that they pretty much saw the writing on the wall with the Wii U real early and started R&D for the Switch, at least in 2013. You know?
Yeah.
So
in 2013 for sure.
Because they made the decision to combine the studios then. So they already were putting the groundwork in place for what they're doing now. So that way they didn't have the same situation happen again. So we'll see how it turns out.
I'll say this.
We can roll into third. I was just gonna say we can roll into the third party thing. I had a decent point, but no, go ahead. Say your thing.
Oh no, I was gonna say one more thing on the success part was I think the miscommunication is I guess Shadow Fox, you might have thought we were saying the success was or the lack of success was some detriment to Nintendo as a company. No, I'm isolating the Wii U, the platform, and what Nintendo wanted to do with that platform are the, like K-Bum said, the expectations that they had for that platform. You know, the ideas with the gamepad, the dual screen, they didn't succeed on that. I mean, if the only game that you could give us outside of detaching away from your TV, where you could play on the, that wasn't even successful because I couldn't even take my TV, my gamepad, maybe 20 feet from my TV, and I couldn't see nothing. So I could walk all around my house. I couldn't sit on the toilet, as Red Knight would say, and play with my gamepad. You know what I'm saying? So, but the ideal of the Nintendo didn't have anything for that, and the game that they had was a bad game. Star Fox.
That goes back. That goes back.
I'm just saying. So even in the idea of the dual screen, Star Fox, because they didn't have nothing. That's what I'm saying, Mizzah Tee.
Yeah,
that was their creation. This was their idea. This was their concept. And you have third-party titles that came out initially with the Wii U that done it better than anything Nintendo offers you with that concept.
Yeah, I can't argue with that.
Outside of Mario Maker, there is no really other game that Nintendo made that proved the tech, that proved the idea, the concept of the dual screen with the Wii U and the gamepad.
You had Donkey Kong that had the damn screen turned off.
Yeah, wasn't even on.
So that was another angle of where I was saying the Wii U wasn't successful. Right. And also here, and we jump to the third party now. I want to, before we go to the ports, I want to make a distinction because I see this happen a lot. And I don't know if it's, in my opinion, it's not fair. There is a distinction between third party and indies. When I say third party, I'm talking about the EAs, the Bethesdas, the Capcoms, the Ubisofts, the
AAA, AA,
the ones who have, they're not indie, they're not self
name recognition in the industry,
right?
Yeah.
So
there's no B anymore. The indies the B now. So
right. So
they publish and develop.
Yeah,
the publisher, the ones that publish and develop and publish their games, they don't. So that's when we say third party. That's who we're identifying. Now, yes, indies was there in abundance on the Wii U. It was there, but I don't believe, and I'm just me, and I would love for y'all to to walk me back if I'm off. To me, I didn't buy the Wii U for indie titles, and I think majority of people are like me. I look at indie titles like icing on top of, or cherry on top of the icing on top of the cake. It ain't even the icing; it's the cherry. You know what I'm saying? Wii U first party is the cake, third party is the icing. When it comes to Nintendo, I would say it's the other way around with Sony and Microsoft. I would say third party is the cake, first party is the icing, and then indie is the cherry on top. With Nintendo, first party is the cake, third party is the icing, and indies is the cherry on top. Well, Nintendo had no icing, they had little cake, and they had a lot of toppings, a lot of
A
cherries.
lot of cherries.
You know what I'm saying? If that's an analogy that I could use, just being, I ain't, but anyway, am I fair to say that?
Yeah, that's pretty fair.
The way you put that,
Okay.
yeah, definitely.
Okay. All right.
So let me
Cool. Anyway,
rule
go
with
ahead,
the third
Mr.
party thing. Like all the stuff we talked about, Wii U or Wii, Wii U's problems in the beginning and what led to that, and the momentum and all that. Even with all those problems, this one thing still could have saved the Wii U. If the Wii U wasn't more, I don't want to say difficult, but a different architecture that these third parties were used to.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think Nintendo made a calculation was that, well, this generation isn't over yet. We're stepping into it, but we're kind of, even though this is supposed to be our next gen platform, we're kind of taking from what's currently going on with
so
360 and PS3. So they made a good calculation. Like if those third parties that were on 360, PS3 would have just put the games out onto the Wii U that they were already putting out on those other platforms, would have been great. But the problem was it was a chore to go from what they're used to make the game on Wii U. Like I think it was like $1 million or something to port the games to Wii U, and that is that's a gamble. You're making a gamble there that a lot of them wouldn't have been willing to make, and the ones that made it, they didn't make the profit back that they wanted to, and so you saw people started slowly disappearing. But had they did that one thing, I think they could have benefited from all the third party games that were still being made for 360. Made them comparable, maybe a little bit better, but because they had that that barrier, that also affected it. Like if they would have just had that one thing, it would have been easy. It would have been quote unquote easy to program for. They could all those other problems could have went away, and they could have still got those ports like the GameCube. Like the GameCube got a pretty good. It didn't get all the third party, but it got a lot of the bigger third party games comparable. Yeah. And it got those, even though it had a small install base, because it was so easy to program for.
And it was cheaper too, because they finally had this.
Right, and it was cheaper too. So a lot of those games still ended up being on the GameCube, where they didn't show up on the Wii U, and the Wii U could have benefited from what the GameCube benefited from, even with the tiny install base.
It needed to, because the whole point of the Wii on the Wii U was you. Who was the you about? Right. Supposedly, the core gamer, and that's the part you failed on, was attracting those folks you was actually appealing to with the whole, we got the Wii now, we got the moms and the pops, we got the Blue Ocean people, we had them, we want you back. We need you to come back.
The sad thing about
you fail on that.
Well, they didn't. The thing
they actually pitched it though. It was there. The whole launch lineup.
Yeah, but they pitched that, but it wasn't quite. They couldn't quite get the U because the game wasn't easy to program for, and they didn't bring over the Wii because they didn't even put a freaking Wii remote in the console, like in the box.
And they broke Wii Sports. They broke Wii Sports.
Oh my god!
We talked about that. We had talked about that on this podcast, and I think we talked about it on Active's podcast a while at the time when that game came out. They messed up on Wii Sports. So
anyway, it was with the core of the Nintendo fan base. That's all they ended up getting because of those problems. And like I would tend to think the core of the Nintendo fan base is around 20 million or so people that will go out and buy your console or your Nintendo console, somewhere around there. Basically around where
at least 20.
The GameCube.
At least 20.
Yeah, I think around where the GameCube was, and the Wii U was unable to reach even that because of all those issues.
I will say one thing about third-party support in Nintendo is that traditionally, at least in the last 3 to 4 generations, third-party games, whether they were the same quality that were on the other consoles or not, have not done well on Nintendo consoles.
No, that is true. That's the other thing. Other part of it too is that was one of my points was did it really matter? Because like even like for other consoles, like the Wii was market leader, like much to the chagrin of the press at large. It was the market leader for the 7th generation, hands down. Like, there's no arguing that whatsoever. Yet and still, look at the type of stuff they decided to port to that console when third party finally said, "Okay, we got to put something on. We have to put something on here." Yeah. They paid studios you never heard of to port these games, and sometimes they were completely different games by the time you got to them. And and then they had a nerve to complain, "Oh, well, the fan base isn't there." Like,
that wasn't all their fault, third party's fault for doing that.
No, it wasn't. But it doesn't help.
Well, they had to make different games because the Wii was not as powerful as the other consoles they were dealing with. So they had to make these down ports, like the Call of Duties. Those showed up, but obviously they were scaled back from what you got on PS3.
But that was enough because they made money off of those.
Yeah, that was enough. And those, I don't know I didn't really pay attention to what studios took care of those ports. Was it Domain?
No, it was somebody else Activision had, but I mean, they literally put Modern Warfare in 480p. They was just like, here's the whole game, 480p, go. It was like some polygons missing here or there or whatever, but it was that whole game.
Yeah.
Well, another thing is that you have to consider the fact that a lot of these third parties understand the power of the Nintendo first party, and they don't want to go up against it.
They don't want to compete.
Yeah. And that's and I think EA just said something the other day about how they're bringing a major franchise to the Switch. They said they're going to play it. They're going to play it by ear going forward. They're going to say, well, we're going to see how the market reacts to this console. We're going to see how our game does, and if things go well, then we might support it more. But it's a smart move to at least say we're showing support for Nintendo by putting a major franchise on their new console. But do you really want to put your even if it's the best thing that you have, the main people who are going to be buying this console are Nintendo fans, core Nintendo fans.
In the beginning. And do you want to put your game up against Mario, Zelda, Smash Bros, Pokemon? I mean, against a Pokemon?
And that's what I was trying to. That's what my response to Level was toward the end of the video. Is what I was trying to say is like Cliff Blazinski went on record, and it was only because I can't think of the dude's name. They used to work for Game Informer. Shane, I think his name is, whatever. But anyway, he kept, for whatever reason, he kept bugging every employee at Epic Games as to why they won't put Unreal Engine on Nintendo hardware. And they were like, well, we want to put our games on the hardware that supports our engine. And they're like, well, why don't you make that engine work for them or whatever? And they're like, look, we make Gears of War. We make, Bulletstorm. We make these type of games. If we put those type of games on Nintendo hardware, we have to compete with Mario, with Zelda, with Metroid. That's not in our wheelhouse. That's not what we do.
I'm gonna call that was a bull line just to get away, not be. But
there's some truth to it though.
Because that's what I said. It is some truth to it, but this is the thing. Look at how long Nintendo takes. This is why I said quality take in the post with Mizzah Tee. No, Terminator Juice. Yeah, it was Terminator Juice I was talking to. Quality takes time, right? Mm-hmm. Nintendo. Look at Zelda. Look at Zelda Breath of the Wild. How long have we known about this game?
2014.
So when are we going to see it? We don't even know when we're going to get the game still. We know it exists. We see it being played. We don't know when we're going to play it. So Cliffy B and all the rest,
next year.
They can put their games out in the moments where Nintendo is perfecting their flagship titles and get those sales. Yeah, you don't want to go head up against Mario if Mario is coming out, but you know how Nintendo work. We all know how Nintendo work. Cliffy them did not want, like Mizzah Tee said, the architecture wasn't to their liking, and they didn't want to fool with having to change up their stuff.
They're all about pushing the visuals, right. Especially back when Gears of War came out.
Without having to dig, also they don't want to have to dig.
So then that'd be a subpar version of
right. Game, so you flatter the people that you are ditching and that you are shunning. You flatter them. We don't want to compete with your great titles. the real truth is we don't want to fool with your weak system. That's what it is, man.
But the thing is,
that's what they did.
And somehow Nintendo's able to make it work. Go figure.
Yeah,
exactly.
The thing is, this is very similar to what happened to the PS3 at launch. The problem with the PS3 at launch is that it wasn't programmed for third party. Sorry, did not know how to use it. If you guys remember, when the Orange Box,
you talk about the sale process.
When the Orange Box came to the PS3, it was developed by initially it was done by I think Valve themselves. But Valve did not want to mess with the PS3. And so they went ahead and gave it to EA to make it because they did not want to deal with it. And that's why for the PS4, what they did was they said, okay, third-party developers, what do you want? What do you need? And the one thing I see with Nintendo is that they don't really make their system for third party.
No, they make it for their
games. Here's the thing. I'm glad you said that. Here's the thing, though, about how the PS3 turned around. How many billions of dollars later in the hole were they when they had to make all those changes? Like, they lost a lot of money.
$8 billion between them and Microsoft.
They lost a ton of money. And Nintendo was like, we could do that and lose all that money and maybe, get some more people over here. They could have done that. They could have done it with the Wii U. Because that's the thing about, I said that about Sony is that in the beginning, especially with the PS3, people were like, people were talking bad about the PS3 in the beginning.
Big
news coming out
in the beginning. That's why it was.
But that changed around 2000, late 2008, 2009.
It changed when Uncharted 2 came out.
When they had games, though. They had games, and the games helped change it. Though.
They pushed through all of that, and Nintendo
they kept releasing games
to billions of dollars to do that. And Sony cared about their market share. And they were willing to spend billions of dollars to get that market share and keep that market
But also, you understand what they did was they started to work with developers to show how to use the sale.
But working with developers costs you lots of money. It costs you money.
But in the short run, this thing is in the short run, yes, it costs you money. But if you can win someone over for your next console, which I think they did a good job for the PlayStation 4, is that they won some of those guys over.
I'm not saying they were wrong for doing it. I'm just saying. I think Nintendo was thinking from a business standpoint, like, we can maintain ourselves. Like, we may not get the big, the big home install base, but we can maintain ourselves. Let's do that instead of go in a hole like these other companies have done. And how many studios did we lose in the 7th gen? Like, it was crazy.
Yeah, it was kind of bad.
The thing is for this generation, though. Hold on a second. This generation, though, Sony did it the opposite way. They went to developers right away. What do you want us to do?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
They're like, we want a PC. Go.
But they learned from that mistake, though. That's
right.
I think Nintendo is too. I think Nintendo. I mean, we're talking about a Nintendo console with NVIDIA chips in it. Like friendly.
they lost money because they made a long-term deal with AMD.
Right.
I think they lost a lot of money breaking that deal off.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
What I'll say is Mizzah Tee made a good point, and it kind of played into what K-Bon was saying. Mizzah Tee said that PlayStation was very concerned about their market share, not losing ground in that, and they spent the money to secure keeping mute right quick, Shadow, because I'm echoing again.
Yeah, I hear it.
All right.
It sounds like I'm talking to myself in third person. But anyway, they spent the money because I said the PlayStation 3, while having a lot of systems in the marketplace, financially hurt Sony. But with the PlayStation 4, what they did is pay it off by them, like you said, going and talking to these third-party developers to make sure, okay, we're addressing what you need while maintaining our position in the marketplace. Now the PlayStation 4, which I think they hurt themselves with the Pro, now they cleaning the floor with everybody. Mm-hmm. But we getting off topic with them. That's not what we came to talk about. Let's get back. Yeah, you talking about Sony. No, because I don't want to be here all night, and we ain't even got to the third. We haven't got to the ports, and I want to get there. Shaw jumped in. What's up, Shaw?
He's on mute. Oh, there you go.
Unmute yourself, man.
Like now?
I knew you would. Yeah,
Like
man.
that?
Where you been
No,
at, man?
that was a delayed response. That wasn't that was supposed to be your intro.
Anyway, what's up, man? So, you got
like
anything you want to chime in on?
Equivalent of 7 in the morning for me. So,
Okay, go ahead.
what are we talking about? I kind of came in at the end of it, so I'm trying to figure out. I was trying to.
We was talking about where we bridged from. Was the Wii U a failure? And we was talking about third party and its importance to a system being successful. I think that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And we got this all over the place. Just
We're in the woods a little bit.
Yeah. We finna bring it back. So you can hold off and I'm finna bring it to this port issue and we're in here.
Well, let him start off with that. Yeah.
Yeah, let's start off there. Well, I'm gonna let Mizzah Tee set it up and we'll talk back and forth. And Shaw, you can jump in on this topic since we pretty much exhausted the other one. Go ahead, Mizzah Tee.
All right. So obviously I did a couple videos with some mixed reviews. And there's a lot of speculation on what was the motivation. So let me break it down real quick. Anybody against me, anybody who don't like me, is not gonna believe, but this is the truth. I swear on my life, this is how it went down. When it comes to the port situation, I wasn't addressing any particular person or camp. I know that became a thing. I'm sub to a lot of big news gaming YouTube channels like Game Explain and whatnot, and they do a lot of, they've done recently, especially this last year, a lot of rumor vids, and they started talking about the enhanced ports thing. And IGN and, then the whole Emily Rogers stuff came out, she's talking about these enhanced ports. And so I'm seeing all this in all these videos and stuff, right? So, like the Splatoon and we'll get into that later, but so I was like, I'm gonna do a video on this. This is strange. I'm seeing a lot of and people talking about these enhanced ports, and they're not it's all happy stuff. And I wasn't mad because people were happy. I just thought it was weird because, especially on the Wii U, there was a lot of oh, well, this is kind of anti-consumer, with Splatoon and Amiibo, especially Amiibo. So I just thought it was weird. So I was like, this was this is a week ago. Probably I started thinking about it on Friday after Thanksgiving, about doing a video, and I was kind of in a food coma, so and I didn't get the video out, and then a couple other people started, what's his name, OJ started talking about it in a couple of videos, and I had already decided I'm going to do the video, and I did that video. I think I recorded it probably Saturday night, and then after that, I think Real Gamer dropped a video about it, and then Nintendo Ultra. So I'm sitting on my video. I'm like, man, if I drop this, people are going to think this is a response to them. But I already had the idea of doing this. It had nothing to do with their videos. But I'm like, all right, I edited this thing. I'm just going to put it out. And so I put out the initial one. I forgot what it was titled. The Wii U ports expose hypocrisy. And what I was saying about that is a lot of the, for lack of a better term, Nintendo activist types who are railing against Splatoon and all this Amiibo and stuff like that, they seem cool with this. I thought it was strange. I literally thought it was strange. I wasn't trying to oh my God, this is crazy. I thought it was strange because I totally expected them to be oh, this is, anti-consumer. Because you're asking, again, we talked about the install base for Wii U, and being a lot of hardcore Nintendo fans bought the Wii U, hardcore fans. And you're saying to those hardcore fans, and the people I'm talking to, they all bought these games that are supposed to be getting these ports, enhanced ports. You're telling me that you don't have to buy anything. I know that. You don't have to buy Amiibo. You don't have to buy any of this stuff. But what I was saying is that these are enhanced ports, so they're going to have new things in them, right? And I'm like, well, I already have this game and so for me to get the new content, I have to buy another game. I have to buy a new game, and I'm like, that to me is anti-consumer. It's like, why can't I get that content on a game I already bought from you? Why you're gonna ask me to buy? So all these people are gonna have all this extra stuff that I can't get if I don't buy a new game. You know what I'm saying? Like, you follow me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Like, and that's the same thing with Amiibo. People didn't like Amiibo because they say it locked content behind them. And I'm like, well, this is kind of the same thing. If you're mad about Amiibo, you should also be mad about enhanced ports, because you're basically locking away content for games I already own. But I have to buy a new game to get that content.
I guess the other thing about the Amiibo was you actually had something to show.
And, yeah, at the end of the day, at least I had a figurine, which I love that stuff. So I know everybody doesn't. That's fine.
Versus a season pass.
Right. Something that's not tangible. So I put the video out, and I'm like, people are thinking I'm responding to them, and immediately I got response videos, which is fine. I mean, I had no problem with that. I kind of expected that, but I'm just trying to say it wasn't directed at this guy over here, that guy over there. I was looking at the sentiment in the community, Nintendo fans who I saw, arguing about these things, but yet this, which I thought was anti-consumer, and I thought people would definitely jump on, they weren't, because I think, rightfully, I understand people want the Switch to do well. So do I. You think I don't want the Switch to do well? I mean, obviously, I'm a Nintendo fan. I want it to do well, but I think because they want it to do well so much, they letting all this other stuff go. These other stances they had before, let all that stuff go, and they go to where I'm a fanboy of the Wii U because I don't want Wii U ports. Like, I don't understand that. Like, I'm a fanboy of the Wii U because I don't want Wii U ports on my new console. I don't have to buy
ad hominems.
Like, it just didn't make a lot of sense to me. You know what I'm saying? And it just felt like, because I was saying it, that people didn't like it. Like, I felt like if Ashokia would have came out and had let's do a movement, a hashtag redirect or whatever, I was all into that. I joined on that. Like, I felt like if he would have said it, it would have been fine. Like, nobody would have had a problem with it. But because it was coming from Mizzah Tee, like, people didn't like me, I don't know.
You're a Wii U weirdo.
Yeah, like, it just didn't make any sense.
I can't disprove what he's saying, so I'm going to make him seem like he's stupid.
Right. That's what I was getting from it. And, like, Level, you were talking about, saying names and stuff. Like, I was trying to say that because you were right. You were right about in your last video, you said I was saying some stuff, and I was definitely talking to OJ. I was talking to OJ. There was a couple of things in there that I was talking to him about.
Let me say this though, I didn't know, and I'm gonna tell you, I didn't know nothing. I just like, this dude got to be. This is OJ, man.
Yeah, but this was really
because it just fit him,
Yeah. Like, I didn't expect him not to know I was talking about him either. I know I could talk to him without
mute your mic, Shadow, because it's bleeding over again. Okay, go ahead.
I knew that I could say these things, and he would know I was talking to him. And some of my hardcore subscribers would know too, but it wouldn't be this big thing. And that's why for him particularly, like, I'm not a dude. Like, you've been subscribed to me for a long time. Like, I had no problem. I went after Bond. I went after Broken Games. Like, I had no problem saying people's names. That's not a thing. On this particular thing, it wasn't about one specific person. And in that video, it wasn't either. It was about, like I said, the sentiment of the community I was seeing. And I did say some stuff that was completely directed at OJ, the stuff about, because it seems like every other video he's complaining about platformers and mini game collections. He just rails against them all the time. And so I was venting a little bit on him about that stuff. And then also talking about the community at large about, letting ports slide for the Switch, where they wouldn't let that similar type of stuff slide for the Wii U. So that's
Right,
what I was talking about.
and that's why I said in my response, not the video, but in the comment section, if you remember, I said I'm confused because I don't know if you're upset about the ideal of Wii U ports coming to the Switch, or are you upset with people who are supposedly happy about it? Now,
at the end of the day,
my
I don't
thing
really
is
care.
this.
I don't really care at the end of the day. Like,
okay,
like,
that's fine.
I don't care if the ports come. Like, I don't believe they're coming. I think these are sequels. I think I've said it a few times, but I was just, I'm addressing it because people are talking about enhanced ports or whatever. I don't think that's going to be a thing. I'm just surprised that, like I said, the activist types haven't or accepting it to me, because it seems like this is something right up their alley to talk about, and I'm just surprised.
Well, I would say this. I'll say this. It was a lot said, especially that's why I said the second video, I ain't gonna lie to you, T. Mm-hmm. The second video did confuse the crap out of me because you said a lot in that video that was like, man, where's T coming from? The first one, I was with you. I was like, okay, what is he talking about? I come on, let's be real. This is what I would do. This is Live and Level Gaming Podcast. What I try to do, I try to be real. I will hold people. Like I went to OJ in a conversation, man, you flip-flopping. And we all have flip-flopped at some point or another. Yeah. I have, all of us have. I know I said this to Red Knight, and I know Red Knight, and let me say, I have no problem with these people, but I understand this community, man, and I'm saying it because it's just the truth. We have all flip-flopped. We have all said something that can be considered contradictory to something we said before in another video in the heat of the moment in our rant at that moment. I believe the second video, you were ranting about a few things that I was like, T, and that's why I broke it down the way I broke it down.
The thing is, I was responding to sideways responses. Like, how do you, like, because I was responding to videos that were definitely talking about me, but they didn't say my name. So it's hard for me to be like, right, talking about me, blah, 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 blah.
They were too scared.
I didn't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that. I'm not about starting arguments.
That's my point. That's the problem with this. And that's what I want to speak to. And that's why I'm glad you came on. Yeah. Because and this is something me and Shaw talk about all the time. The reason I say names is because I don't have a problem. And I'm going to say it in a way that you shouldn't really have a problem with me. I ain't cussing you out. I ain't saying you suck, you garbage, you idiot, you fool. I ain't saying none of that. I just say I don't agree and whatever. And I will speak to the person or the people or the group that I didn't agree with, and then there's moments where you're just broad stroking and you're hitting everything. And it's really like the video I did where what type of Nintendo fan are you? That was hitting everybody in between ups and everybody got hit. Everybody saw themselves in that video. But when I addressed, like the time that I addressed the podcast with you, Terminator Jews and Red Knight, the reason I addressed it towards you because that was a community base. That wasn't a widespread issue. And that's what confused me about this situation was it wasn't a widespread issue. It was an issue with certain people. And I feel like if you just say, hey, OJ, or hey, whoever else, then you save yourself all that.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I didn't have the widespread issue was to me about the people not like getting upset. Well, not upset, but people not calling the ports out for what I thought was anti-consumer stuff. Like that's like I said, I watch Gamers, I watch IGN, I'm watching all these channels, and then I see all these fans that don't say anything. They're like, oh yeah, great. Really great. Don't you already have that game? Like I just didn't. That to me, I was talking to everybody for that. That was specific. The talk about.
Well, I mean that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Now I'm just saying the talk about
finish your point.
The platformers and the mini game collections. That was specifically at OJ. That was definitely specifically to him. But we're and the thing about like I feel like you can talk like we're in Hangouts. Like I can say. You can put out a video. I'm like, I'll hit you up in the hangout, man. You crazy on that last video. My inclination isn't just to my inclination isn't to run to YouTube and make a video about it. I'm gonna have to talk to you first,
Right?
And be like, hey, what you talking about, man? That's crazy talk. And that doesn't happen. I feel like people want to run to the YouTube and make a video before they actually talk to people that they talk to. Like they can talk to that person before doing that stuff. And so, like I said, I don't think what I was responding to as far as the ports go was the sentiment in the community as a whole that I was seeing from these bigger swaths. Like I said, Game Explains, and nobody seemed to have a problem on Game Explain about. Nobody mentioned the fact that it was kind of weird that you're gonna re-release these games for a new console, and because this is the big talk about the software. You got a couple of new games, but the big talk about software coming to Switch was these ports, be it third party or enhanced, quote unquote, enhanced Wii U ports. And I just thought that it was weird to be excited about that.
Well, you heard
nobody was saying anything about it.
You heard the excuses though, right?
Yeah, I heard the excuses.
Yeah, it takes so long to make a Nintendo game, and they got to plug the holes. And I'm like, that's what new games are for.
For the Wii U is what I'm saying. I'm looking for consistency. I mean, I'm looking for. My grandmother told me. I told her. I want stuff to be fair, and she said to me, "A fair is a place where you ride rides and eat cotton candy." There's no true.
That's true.
Let me say this though. Let's say this, just to bring clarity. Okay, you say. To me, I wouldn't see anybody really go at a Game Explain because Game Explain, like, okay, let me
like in the comments.
No. Let me.
Okay,
right. I understand what you're saying. Well, let me explain why I think maybe the message got missed. Okay, you started off talking about how folks, when the PlayStation 3 to the PlayStation 4 was getting these ports, people was hating on it. And throwing shade at look at all and I can relate because I was one of them people who right. So I know Game Explain doesn't do that.
Yeah, they don't. So
my mind is like that they don't get into that. So when you preface it, when you started off with that, and then you come to the situation with the ports from the Wii U to the Switch, you are talking about this community with the people that we all follow or in some kind of way have interaction with. So the OJs, I don't know all this, man. I'm just gonna be honest. I don't know all these dudes.
But you're talking about YouTubers. So, I'm talking about the subscribers of those YouTubers. I'm not talking.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the community. The YouTubers are not the community. It's the people who listen to them.
Right. Well, okay. Yeah, but then you got groups that listen. Okay. The people who subscribe to OJ might not listen to me, might not listen to you. They might just be there. So that's his community. That's not the community. That's his followers. Now you might have those who track across all of them, but what I was saying was when you prefaced it in that statement, it forces you to look past certain things. You focus on people who have done this. And like I said, OJ had to walk in it. OJ flip-flops. He know he flip-flops. Ain't no love lost. I still watch his stuff. I enjoy his content. He good. But he do flip-flop. It's just the truth. But what I was saying is I didn't see no port, nothing with nobody. And I was like, and even in the comment section, I saw people asking like, who, where, and when, and why. So I was confused, and I couldn't figure out where it was coming. But the second video was what I think. Well, I said a lot of what I said in my video was off of the second video. I don't know if the second video was a video of frustration or a video of reacting to the you said the side swiping and
like I said, it was like it's hard to like. You feel like when somebody's talking about you, even though they don't say your name. So but if you're gonna make a video, it's hard to like go at them because they technically didn't say they were talking about you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you kind of got to do the same thing, and it gets a little bit even more muddy. You know what I'm saying? Like it gets
okay.
But I guess my main thing. This is my main thing was that I'm asking the question. I'm not. We can talk about business, the how it's good for Nintendo business wise and all that. We can talk about that. But what I'm saying is, and this is specifically to YouTubers in this community, Nintendo YouTubers especially. who I know have all these games, played all these games like crazy.
See, that's who I thought you was talking to. So
what I'm asking, yeah, and it's not being mean or throwing shade or any of that. No, I'm asking, why are you excited? I can understand why somebody who ain't about a Wii U is excited about these ports. And it's like, oh, I wanted to get one, I just never pulled the trigger. But now Switch seems like it might be a more, it might be a console that I would like to get, you know, because maybe it'll have more third party, all that stuff. I understand why they're excited about ports. I'm trying to figure out why fans who have spent hundreds of hours in these games are excited to rebuy games based probably, you know, $50 to $60 somewhere. It's going to be in there somewhere, most likely. Rebuy games that they already have just so they can access new content. Because that's what they're saying. It's like, oh, as long as they're going to fix this and make this better. So you're saying you're going to spend $60 for a few extra features?
That's like saying that's like saying I love Pokemon Red and Blue. I can't wait to buy Ruby Red and Alpha Sapphire.
Right. It's like that to me. That didn't make sense, especially coming from people who railed against again these other things. Like
okay,
Amiibo.
so let's talk about that then. I'm gonna let these other guys get in. So I'm gonna let Prime and K-Bum and others. Okay, so
I feel like that's fair. I don't feel like I'm. You know,
no, you're not wrong.
We
get an understanding of. I think we got an understanding. So the problem is for those of us who own the Wii U, who bought these games, who didn't have their system reboot and erase all your data. For all those folks who spent hours into these games, I'm still salty about that, man. Why would you be excited about these ports? And
for you as a consumer,
I guess personal for you as a consumer.
Yes.
Anybody want to jump in? I mean, I don't want to be the first one, but anybody outside of,
I'll say this first before we get started. There are people that are very vocal about this that have done exactly what he's saying, and they're a shining example of it. And they refuse to say anything about why that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Or they should have been. Yeah, they should have been the first people to be like, I'm not buying those games again. They should have been the first people, and they're not. And I don't think it's anybody in this room, but I know there's a few very strong cases of that, and they are silent.
I should be the one, you know, based on how they characterize me. I should be the one defending them. I should be the one defending the ports. I'm on the other side where I thought they would be. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's strange to me.
It really comes down to this: is that when you idolize something, you lose your objectivity.
But I don't want to.
And that's when it comes to people who, when you love something so much. I mean, look at all the things Nintendo has done that's been anti-consumer, like we've been talking about for the past
they've
hour.
Taken them to task on these other things. That's the difference.
Well, hold up. Let's listen.
Okay, good.
They've done all these things, and yet they keep coming back for more. It's like battered person syndrome. They can't get enough, and they can't. When somebody comes up to you and say, "Why do you allow this person to do this to you?" Because I love them. You know, they love Nintendo. It doesn't matter if they're giving you a new 3DS without a plug in it. Doesn't matter if they're purposely short stocking Amiibos and mini NESs, and they're going to do the same thing for the Switch too. Doesn't matter if they do these shady stuff. They love Nintendo regardless, and that's the reason why they can't give you an answer as to why they're letting them do it again. They're getting the screws put to them again, and you're trying to tell them, why are you letting them do this? I don't know.
No, but these people didn't let them do. That's what I'm saying. These people didn't let them with the Amiibo situation. These podcasts upon podcasts, people talking about this is BS, Nintendo, blah blah blah. So that's what I'm saying. I was expecting them.
I would guarantee you that these people low key were buying those Amiibos anyway.
Well, that's probably true.
They do.
People talk a lot of junk on they these first people in line. Man, I ain't gonna do it. It's like the Bugs Bunny syndrome. Like, I'll starve before I eat this stuff. That's about you. I'll starve.
Boycott Splatoon for no voice chat. They got more hours in the game than me.
Exactly.
Well, okay. Let me say this.
If you boycott Splatoon, why are you not boycotting this?
I feel like we getting. I don't know. I feel like we ain't gaining.
I think
Okay,
we're
so
talking around each other.
I'm trying. Yeah, we ain't staying focused. Okay, so all right. I don't know who. I know. Like I said, I know some because I follow some, and I feel like I don't think they're necessarily the ones that I hear that they're necessarily so excited about the ports. I think they're excited about the fact that the Switch seems to be getting the attention and the acceptance that they have longed for Nintendo platform to get.
And you got to where I wanted to get to without.
That's what I was going to touch on. Yeah.
They want to be down.
now, me personally, I see nothing wrong with that, and this is why. And I think you'll understand it once you. To me, I seen a lot of change with what's going on with the Switch that I wanted, like even down to the messaging. Like I noticed it right off. There was no kids in the video. Now, to me, that resonated to me because if you follow me, Mizzah Tee, and anybody that follow me, I've always talked about the damage that the kiddie perception is doing to Nintendo. They have to some kind of way get that off of them. Not that they don't need to cater to kids and things like that. They don't need to be known out the gate, always seen as the system for kids. That narrative needs to change. They can still make games that are kid friendly, family friendly, family orientated. They can still have the colorful, all that, but that idea that every time they make a system, this is for a child. I use my boy K-Bun's wife. She doesn't even game. And the first thing that came out of her mouth was, that's for kids. Why are you playing that? And I'm like, it's because it's got good games on it. But I understand her position is when all you see is this type of stuff, it creates a mindset and it makes it unattractive to those who feel that are mature and that will look for more maturity. So I like the fact
she did flame it though. Like, she flamed that Nintendo.
but real quick though, real quick though. But even that has issues because in the first commercial for Wii U, there was only one child in it, and it was at the very end. Mm-hmm. At the very beginning, there was nothing but adults in there, boyfriends, girlfriends sitting in there. There was the big cube, the very first commercial with the people inside the cube, and it turned into one big giant U.
Yeah, the very first one was the one that they showed. Then they had the one with all the different cubes.
Yeah, but that's the second and third commercial had the family and the kids in it. But the very first one they showed. Go ahead. Right.
Well, stay with me. I get you. I bet we can isolate points, and that's not what I'm trying to get to. What I'm trying to get to is this. I heard a lot of people kind of, I just say I heard podcasts. I isolate that, and on the other side, when people was like, I'm glad Nintendo went this direction. I'm glad Nintendo had this message. I saw people say, "Oh, look at them. Are you uncomfortable with being you? Are you scared? Oh, you gotta have what? How did they put it?
Stuff like a little bit insecure because the kids being in the
right, yeah. That type of stuff. I was hearing that from different groups, and I thought to my setback, and I was like, you know what? I don't understand why when someone says on this side, I'm glad that they did this, that this group will automatically take it as insecurity. For me, I was glad they did it. I ain't insecure on every Wii system, but I'm glad they did it because it puts them in a place where they can appeal to people beyond me, beyond the Mizzah Tee, beyond the Terminator Juices, beyond the Red Knights, beyond the OJs, beyond the John Shaws. That they can get a K-Bum. They can get these individuals because you're talking to them. They don't talk Nintendo. They don't care about Mario. They don't care about all that we care about. Yeah. You gotta cater your message. And Nintendo learned the lesson and they catered their message and it was successful, and we found a way to harp on Nintendo being successful. And I'm like, how do we do this? I ain't gonna, in this sense, just for keep peace. I will not say no names, but Mizzah Tee Mizzah Tee would know, and all of us know. We was hearing this, and I'm sitting here like, this is stupid. This is really stupid because I don't think anybody is saying this out of insecurity. They're saying it out of seeing it as an issue that Nintendo should have been addressed a long time ago, so that they can appeal to a broader demographic than just core Nintendo fans. And that was a problem. Then I saw the Switch ports. I'm gonna just be me. I don't think anybody is saying I want these ports. Well, I don't know.
No. I've heard. Oh, these will be nice stopgaps. There won't be any droughts because they'll be sprinkled. But I'm like, it's gonna be a drought because you played that game already. You know, like it doesn't make sense. But go ahead.
Well, are they saying okay? And I want everybody else to join in, because you might need multiple perspectives. You know, there's safety in the multitude of counsel. I'll make me get to talking biblical on y'all. Anyway, so what I was picking up from people, like even I'll say OJ. What I kept hearing from OJ was, this is smart. This is smart business because this will allow Nintendo to have enough games out in the marketplace to where I was thinking he was talking beyond the 13, beyond us. Those who buy this will have enough games there to keep their attention while other games are being made that's going to come. Now, if he's saying this is good for him, yeah, that don't make any sense. But if he's saying this is good for those who haven't bought the Wii U, which that's what I thought I was hearing, then it makes sense. And that's what I thought I was hearing. But I don't know.
I can't take him really to task because, like you said, like he's OJ now. When he was Francis, it was kind of different. It was more about him being. I'm not trying to those things. Like obviously going in a different direction, which is fine. I have no problem with that. But it's hard for me, especially because I know where you came from. So it's hard for me to I don't know, for lack of a better word, switch to that new direction you're going in. So like I said, I'll throw stuff at him occasionally. But if I may, I'm talking to people like even like you. Like you went through, like we had all these directs where you were like, oh man, they talking about all this 3DS stuff. And I remember, I don't know if I said it or I remember other people were saying it to you. Maybe it was T-Juice was saying like, well, yeah, they're trying to, they're focusing on where the money is. Like the 3DS was a system that was selling and they're making more money off of that. So they were focusing on that. But you were like, I don't want to hear that. Like I'm a consumer. And
right.
So that's who I'm talking to. You kind of remember what I'm talking about? Like,
yeah, I did. I could go back to what I was saying and that's what I feel like. That's what I felt like I just said. Like, okay, me as a consumer, the 3DS, you're not, okay, the Nintendo Direct ain't just about the 3DS. Mm-hmm. Yes, the 3DS is generating all your money. But here you have a platform in which this is why I have a problem with Nintendo and the Wii U. Here you have a platform that is drowning and just clamoring, just crying for some attention. Just pause and just focus on me for a second. And you will not do it. It's drowning. It's got the hand up. It's waving the white flag. It's screaming and on text you and called you. Do you remember me? Hey, you made me. You put me out here. And you just, every direct, you spend 40, 30 minutes talking about the 3DS, let's spend this 10 minutes talking about the Wii U. Okay, let's go back to the 3DS. I'm not going to lie. As a consumer, that was peeing me off. Because I own. Again,
you're gonna talk about being from a consumer standpoint. You got to stay to that. You can't just decide when it's convenient for whatever argument you're making to switch to the other side. Like you're your perspective at that point
But
was,
you know-
I'm a
but you know-
consumer. I have a Wii U. Give me Wii U games. Nintendo's perspective was, well, we see the writing on the wall with the Wii U. We're gonna sprinkle a couple of things at you, but we're gonna focus on the 3DS, and
Right.
that was good business
Right.
for them.
And secretly Nintendo Switch.
I got that. I got
Right.
that.
Right.
That's
so
no
I'm
problem.
saying
I
people
understand that.
felt that way. Like you can't. Like I'm gonna say something if you switch to the other side. Like going back and forth. Like because that's what I'm used to you saying. You're talking. I'm used to you speaking to me as a consumer. We're all fans. Like I don't want to hear about Nintendo's business.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Yeah. As a consumer, all right, that was my position with the Wii U when it was out, when it was in the marketplace. They have told me that the Wii U is a failure. They have moved on. So now with the Switch, again, I'm interested in the Switch. I don't care about the ports. So you haven't seen me say either or about ports or anything.
No,
yeah, you heard me argue about it. Right. So far as me, I haven't switched on my position at all. It's just I don't. The ports is not an issue for me. The ports is not a problem for me. I will buy the ones I want. I won't buy what I don't want. My thing with now if they start, okay, let's bring it back to that. If they start doing Nintendo Directs again, and let's say they start spending all their time on the 3DS again, I'm gonna tell you right now, I will be PO'd again. I'm just gonna be real right here.
You know they're gonna do it.
But to me, my problem is going back to, and I said we all can have moments of flip-floppery. That might have been one for me, but I felt like I've noticed in like I was going back down to when people was happy to see that there wasn't no kids in the market, right? I saw you and others point that out and tease those and start calling them insecure, and I'm like, why y'all?
But it's true though.
Here's the reason why I was saying that.
No, wait a minute. Hold up. Let me finish. Shadow, it's not true. It's only true because that's the narrative that a person will want to stay in. If you in my head, wait a minute, let me explain.
Okay.
I ain't never been insecure about being a Nintendo fan.
I don't think it's about you though.
Me. No, I know. I'm what I'm saying is I think most are like me. I believe most think like me. I'm not insecure that's an assumption, but I said I believe. That's why I said I believe. Yeah. I believe most in that situation was thinking like me. They were happy that Nintendo finally addressed an issue that was a big issue. This kiddie notion, this constantly being framed as a kiddie system was a problem. And they addressed it because I believe they saw it as a problem as well. And they addressed it. And when they addressed it, you guys found a way to make that be a problem. I'm like, that's crazy to me, man.
I'm being mischaracterized again. So let me explain.
I think we all are. Yeah,
you want me to talk about it real quick, T? You want me to talk about it? Okay, so as a viewer of that video in particular, what he was talking about, right? I already got names in my head as soon as he made that video, because there are individuals that for whatever reason thought it was okay to say that they were waiting for the time to say Wii sucks, Wii U sucks, but I still like Nintendo stuff. I'm gonna try and find a way to borrow Wii U so I can play Zelda, play Mario, whatever, until they're back cool again. There are people that do that, and they hide amongst us. They have that opinion. That is what they say because of that quote unquote kiddie image. And as soon as they see a glimpse of now it's mature now, because they showed up at the beginning of the Wii U too when they start showing Ninja Gaiden and all that other kind of stuff and Darksiders and all that stuff at the beginning, they were back clapping, saying, "Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and blah 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 blah." As soon as that ended, they were gone.
Yeah, and the main here's the thing though. The main point of my video wasn't to say, "Oh, you're insecure because there's no kid." Watch the video. The main point of my video was to say that they're trying to. You can't really have kids driving vans and doing the things that these people getting on planes and playing the Switch. They were trying to show you what the system can do. But my main thing was, what were they playing? And what were they playing in
Mario Kart?
They're playing Mario Kart.
Zelda, Splatoon.
Exactly.
Wait a minute, hold up. They was playing Mario Kart. They was playing Zelda. They was playing Skyrim. They was playing NBA. They was playing a whole bunch. Splatoon.
It was just that.
So my point is, wait a minute. You said that they could not do that with kids, right?
They couldn't.
I can see them getting in. I can see them getting into the little minivan with a family and have the two kids in the backseat playing the little attachment to the backseat. I can see a kid.
No, go ahead.
I can see a kid on the plane playing beside his mom, or the mom and the kid playing together. I can even see the kids at a school basketball court playing whatever. So my point is, they could have eased the video. I think Nintendo saw that it was a problem, and I believe that we're trying to make, and like I said, I've been in this community for about 4 years now. I think sometimes we try to force people to fit into our ideal and our assumption, or what we believe they are saying or what they're doing. And it might not necessarily be what we think it is, because this community is just built and conditioned to do that to individuals. How many times have we been framed in a video, like you said, Mizzah Tee, your video, you wasn't saying all these things, but how many people came at you and said this is what you were saying? How many people have come in my comment section and say, I'm saying this, and I'm like, that ain't what I'm saying.
Well, that's what we do. Cal, real quick. So when what I was talking about before, with regards to that, and I was talking about certain YouTubers or whatever, it isn't that. Okay, so, and this isn't in total defense of Mr. T's video, but I will say, as a viewer,
no, this ain't even at Mr. This ain't no at Mr. T or anything. It's just a conversation.
Yeah, I'm just saying the idea, the premise that people finally are secure now with aligning with this company again. Like, I have seen personally in real life people act that way as well. It's not just insert YouTuber here that, you know, makes whatever. It's cool to flame Nintendo on Wii U, so I'm gonna talk crap about Wii U. And Switch is cool now, so I can praise that and continue to talk about Wii U bad. But I want those Wii U games on Switch. Like, it's not just those YouTubers. There are people that have intentionally decided to disassociate themselves with the Wii brand, but want to claim to be an old school Nintendo gamer. Those are the same people that went out and bought 2 or 3 NES classics, trying to sell them on eBay, and they kept one for themselves because they want to play those old school games, but they refuse to graduate and play the newer ones that Nintendo made because of the stigma that's associated with those systems. And I know people like that personally, and that's personally, I think that's what that video was striking at.
I'm just, as an adult, I just feel like that shouldn't bother you. Like, that
it shouldn't. Not as a grown man.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying.
What I'm saying.
Let me get in on this. I agree with everybody is saying. You know, at the end of the day, you know, you as a consumer have to make the decision on what you think is best for you and what you enjoy and where you're going to put your money. And as far as whether it's a port or whether a new games, really doesn't make any difference. If the games are compelling to that individual, they're going to go out and buy it. It's really that simple. I want to hear from Keith and John, because it's been a 3-man show for the past 10 minutes.
Like we taking over the man podcast.
No, go ahead.
Man, I would just
jump in.
Go ahead, John.
I want to go to the part about, because we went to like several different places. I want to go back to the port situation, because I can come at it in two different ways. The Nintendo side of it is they lost a lot of money on this Wii U. They lost a lot of sales that they were used to get. Like, for instance, Mario Kart on the Wii, that's 36 million. Mario Kart on the Wii U, that's like 4 million. No, 6 million total. That's a lot. That's 30 million sales that's gone that they didn't get. So of course they're gonna say, now that everybody is enticed and everybody is talking about their next system, of course they're gonna bring that over. It's just natural. They lost on the next system, so they're gonna bring it to the next system. That's just natural. The reason why, and I'm one of those people that was vocal about the porting situation, because I shitted on Sony about it. I'm very vocal about that. The situation is different. Here we have a system that didn't sell, they didn't captivate the audience that they intended to get. So of course they're going to remake those games for the new system because now they got the captivated audience that they think they have. Sony already had the audience, they already had the sales, they already had the market, and they already made those sales. Those games sold well on the PS3. There was no reason to remake those. And the fact that they also remade those, and the fact that those same games are still the best games on that system till this day, is a problem. And the fact that there's still more ports to this day on that system than there is actual games made by them is a problem. You know, I think Sony has to this day, 3 actual in-house titles that they made. You know, that's a problem, you know.
Well, see, to me, it's like going back to my grandma and the fair thing. It doesn't matter to me if you're being anti-consumer to 14 million people or 80 million people. Anti-consumer to me is anti-consumer. That's a lot argument I'm hearing a lot. Well, it's okay to be anti-consumer because it was only 14 million people over here. We ain't worried about them. We worried about everybody else. But you know, that 14 million people are hardcore Nintendo fans. You should be worried about us. Like that to me, that's just wrong. I just feel like that's wrong.
I don't think that's the message that they're doing. Also at the same time, Nintendo ain't said nothing, so that's another thing.
That's the overwhelming. That's the
biggest thing.
Yeah, that's the big thing. It's like this is all assumptions. This is based on rumors. You know what I'm saying? This is all based on. So at the end of the day, this could mean nothing. You know what I'm saying?
So that's where I come from. That it's like, so I understand what Nintendo's doing, but see, at the same time, I know that Nintendo's got Zelda coming. I know that they got a Mario coming. You know what I'm saying? So it's like stuff like that. Like with Sony, it was stuff that was supposed to be on launch that still to this day hasn't made the daylight. You know, and that's the problem. That's the problem. That's the difference. Like, see, this is a system that hasn't even came out yet, so we don't even know what's going to be on it yet. We don't know what new games are going to be on. We don't know what's going to be ported over. We don't know what third parties are going to do. We don't know anything about it. So at this time, it's not fair to jump on it like that just yet. We have to see what the Nintendo's going to do. Now, if they come out and that's all they have is ports, then jump down their throat because they stupid and they did.
Well, I mean, the rumors. The rumors are the first 6 months, the first, the launch window in the first 6 months, whatever. They talking about like 5 and 6 games. To me, no. That's crazy to me. That's why I don't think it's real. I don't think this is a real. I'm just trying to start a conversation about why would people who have railed against other things that they saw was anti-consumer, they thought can let this slide, and it's because everybody likes the Switch, so it's okay. That's what I'm saying. Everybody likes the Switch, man. Shh, be quiet.
But if you don't like Wii U now, and you didn't like Wii U, you should want nothing from that 8th generation platform. You should be totally washed of that. If that's the case, you want to make the Switch. Wii U was a failure. It was a total disaster. Okay. New Switch, new games.
Well, see, and it's that angle that I can't.
That's the way they acting, though.
I agree with you. Then I can't. Wait a minute. Okay, we all bought the Wii U, so let's so that's done.
That's who I'm talking to. I'm talking to people who bought the Wii U.
Hold on. Let me. I'm
going, Sean.
It's people that bought the Wii U that's saying that.
Yeah,
I'm getting there.
Who have these games?
So that was the business side of it. Okay, that was the business side of it. Now you're saying, why are these people that already bought these games? Why would they be excited about playing it on the Switch?
Yeah. Why are they cool with this when they weren't cool with that?
Other than it being mobile, I don't know.
That's your big answer right there. Because I'm telling you right now, that's your big answer right there. It's the secret sauce. It's because it's mobile. Now you can go take that Splatoon and take it wherever you want to go. You can take that Mario Kart and go wherever you want to go with it. That's why I'm going to buy Skyrim again. This is I have Skyrim for the 360. I had it for the PC. Now I'm going to have it again for the Switch. Why? Because now I can take that with me. You know what I'm saying? Now I can be sitting at work when I'm bored. I can go kick my feet up and go play some Skyrim, go raid some dungeons, kill some dragons, and I can foosh rada.
That's the only thing I could think of. Really.
That ain't worth $50, $60 again to me. But
no. If it's $50, $60, no, that's not the thing. But also, I can't speak from that standpoint because I'm not in the same predicament as everybody else because I don't game and I don't purchase like everybody else. I have GameFly. I play whatever I want when I want to, and if I don't like it, I'll send it back. You know, and it's like, Every single game that's available right now, I have available to me to play, and I play it, and I try it, and say, hey, if I like it, I'll keep it. If not, I don't. And I don't pay $60 for nothing. You know, and that's why I can't totally speak to that side, but I can speak somewhat to that side.
Yeah,
but at the same time, I don't game like that because my money is only spent periodically on certain things that I know I'm going to keep. You know what I'm saying? So, like, but even though I still played 90% of everything that was on the Wii U, I still played 90% of everything that was on the PlayStation and Xbox, but I've only kept like a small fraction of that. You know, so my
I guess from my angle,
it's not that because I'm not spending the money. So my standpoint is I don't care. I'm not spending the money, but I'm still gonna play it though, but I'm not spending the money. So it doesn't affect me like that was what it's gonna affect anybody else.
I guess from my angle, I'm trying to speak from my angle, and I can't speak for the other groups that might be doing this. I think I'm putting my thoughts out in the air because some things make logical sense to me. I feel exactly what y'all saying. If you got this dude over here talking about a game on that was being ported on the PlayStation 3 to the PlayStation 4, and then when it's happening on Nintendo to the Switch, they have no problem. That is hypocritical. That is very hypocritical, and I can't speak to that because I haven't heard none of these videos to know the context and what was said around what they were saying. Only thing I can speak to is what when I saw the rumors and I started seeing that this was coming and that was coming, I was just looking from a business sense. It makes logical sense for Nintendo to do this because of the situation with the Wii U. And trying to get what they didn't get from the Wii U on the Switch. That's my angle. That's my perspective on it. But if people are acting like they put 300 hours in these games, like say for instance, they put 300 hours in Xenoblade, and then they excited to get it on the Switch, that would be kind of puzzling to me unless you go into the angle like Shaw said, because I can take it on the go, or if they adding something to it that you feel like makes it worth it. Okay, but a lot of them ports that was coming from PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 4 didn't add nothing to it. It was just HD. That was the ad. It went from HD to HD.
Well, that to me, yeah.
What?
That's what it did.
I like the HDer.
It was HDer. I mean, and you know, at the end of the day, again, like I said, it's cats flip-flopping all over the place. And we could be on that till Kingdom Come. I will let Keith get in here, and if K-Bun want to get in here. But I think what I would say for me and when I made my team, it was my first video was just going to be talking about the ports. It was the second video that kind of was mixed to me. And
I said, my second video was me responding to the sideways responses, and so it was gonna be a hard task to do that anyway, because it's like I said,
right.
So probably talking about me, but I can't prove it, so I'm gonna respond the best way I can at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where I was.
Yeah. Go ahead, Keith. You got something to say?
Oh man, it was like playing doubles. Just trying to jump in there. I was actually talking. I couldn't get in, so I was like, forget it. Y'all had mentioned something about the kids to adults and stuff like that. Y'all remember when Nintendo put out that survey? I think that's when they found out who was actually buying that consoles. I remember taking a survey and they was asking how old you are and what type of games you play. And I think what we're seeing is the results of that survey with the Switch. So I think that's why everybody is feeling that way.
You're right. I think you're right. But all I'm saying is slow down. Like, this is just a reveal trailer. You don't know what the marketing is going to be. There's a lot of assumptions going around. If you think Nintendo's not going to have kids in a commercial going forward somewhere, you're out of your mind. Like, that just
it's going to happen.
That's going to happen. So what I'm saying is,
if you're comes out.
Yeah, I was just about to say Pokemon commercial.
Pokemon, like, come on. Like, you're all in thinking, they're changing who they are. I'm just saying I don't think that's the case. And I'm saying based on the reveal trailer, that's not the case. Because we saw Mario, we saw Splatoon, we saw these colorful kiddie games that Nintendo's known for. So I'm
But
just
I feel
saying,
like
based on that trailer, that wasn't the case.
I feel like they already got them. I feel like they already got them though. They know that they can put out a game and get the kids. It's the other people that they've been having a hard time.
That's what they need to realize. That's what they need to realize.
And I feel like that's what that reveal trailer was geared to.
Yeah.
And they strategically put the most
Keith
popular Wii U games in that trailer.
Mm-hmm.
What Keith
those
just
were all
said,
really popular games.
I remember them surveys, and I remember on one they asked, any did you have any other comments? I remember putting in the box, dealing with the whole aspect of being an adult and wanting to see them talk to me as from an adult. I remember even being in a podcast this was before you even was doing it with Red Knight. Me and him was talking about the fact that when they didn't put voice chat in Splatoon, we was talking about we don't need you to be our parents. Remember that? I don't know if y'all remember that.
Yeah, I remember that.
We was talking about I don't need you to be my parent. I'm a grown person. I'm a grown man. It ain't really got nothing to do with the games. For some, it might be the games. Like I would say for K-Bum, them games don't appeal to him. So Nintendo will have to come with another message to get a K-Bum to be attracted to it. And that's fair because that does not appeal to him. Some of these titles might appeal to him, but the system in the totality, he ain't gonna buy a system for one game. And I let him speak for himself. But it's that message like, and I hear mute yourself real quick, Fox. It's the message of constantly doing things that you don't have to do for me. Like you didn't put voice chat on the game because you didn't want that. That's let me be the parent because maybe I don't have no kids in my house. Maybe and it's these type of things.
Well, it was that particular director had a bad experience himself, and made that decision himself.
I just thought that was BS. I said that in the video. I thought that was a BS line. I thought people go right to the Nintendo was trying to protect, but I'm like that to me that's the easy explanation for why stuff like that doesn't happen. I think it's just business wise. I think that stuff costs more money. They were looking at the Wii U in the beginning, like, well, we don't want to charge for online. What can we do to not have to charge? And I think that's one of the things. And people automatically run to, they're trying to protect the kids, and that's Nintendo's fault too, because they like you said, that guy said, well, I had a bad experience online. That to me, most people didn't believe that. I don't think a lot of people actually believe that. But
I saw straight through it. Because I'm a parent, and you have to be 12 to get a Nintendo Network account anyway, and you gotta put at least $1. I mean, not $1, at least like 1 penny on the account to open it, so you can play online if you're finally above that age.
Yeah, it's their fault for saying that. Because I'm looking at Wii, I'm like, Kitty, like there was Razor's Edge at launch. There was Darksiders. There was Mass Effect. There were mature titles on the console.
They were supposed to get Metro last night. They never came, but
they have a camera feature, a WeChat. What is it called? WeChat U. Yeah. Where you can get into a private chat line, video chat with anybody.
It uses this very tech, by the way, the company that made Google Hangouts. Yeah.
So to me, that was just the easy explanation for why they don't do this stuff. I just think Nintendo's disjointed about a lot of this stuff. They have to fix that. I think they will. I think the acquisition of DNA will help a lot with that stuff. And they won't have to make these bogus excuses of, somebody yelled at me online, one of the developers said, and so I didn't add it. You didn't add it because it wasn't viable financially to add it, and probably didn't fit your timetable. Yeah,
I believe it's being cheap.
And it didn't fit their
cheap. I believe it's a combination of both.
Yeah.
But I believe
that's
it's
their
a combination
fault,
of both.
I can't argue with anybody who that's their fault for saying that stuff.
Well, going back to what we were saying earlier, they're all up against it in terms of taking a loss on the system. So why make it even worse by adding that into the system?
It was a business decision. Trust me. That's what it was. And that was their PR line. And it was a bad one.
You got anything you want to say?
Man, I already fell asleep on this podcast. All this Nintendo talk.
But anyway, my aim is, and I let these guys come. My aim was this, man. You can't. To me, this community, and maybe it ain't never gonna fix itself because it is what it is. It was like this before I ever got here. It'd probably be like this when I choose to stop making videos. My thing is, we have a part to play, and we are partly responsible for a lot of the headaches that we feel like we have in this community. Like the people that subscribe to us, the people that follow us. Sometimes, man, we need to be the dose of medicine for our own followers. I said to you, Mizzah Tee, sometimes we need a little self-defacing a little bit, being honest and being transparent. Look, like I try my best in my stuff to even if I disagree with you, to come at you in a certain way that where while I'm disagreeing, I'm being respectful. I don't agree with you, but I ain't gonna disrespect you because I don't agree with you. And like I said many times, I can't control how people respond to a person disagreeing with you. And Shaw said this before, and I let him speak for himself. If you put something out on YouTube, you're opening yourself up to be agreed or disagreed with in the comment section with a thumbs up or a thumbs down or a response video. It's just how you do it. I ain't gonna thumb your video down. I would comment in your comment section, and I would try to share my opinion and thoughts, and I'll try to be respectful. But what I notice is, and what I'm trying to break free from with myself is not let my fan base or the people who subscribe to me control how and I'm not saying anyone here does this. I'm just saying in period for the ones who's listening. And, I'm just, putting it out there. Letting folks dictate how you operate. Scared to say this or won't say this on this side and let this slide over here because you scared that the fan base ain't gonna receive that. That's our fault to me. That's all of us with these channels' fault.
I'm glad you said that because I felt like everybody was cool with the ports. The easy thing for me to do was ports are cool. I didn't do that. No, I'm just saying.
That's what I said. I'm not talking to you. I
know you're not. But I just use your example because people will say that about me. They say, "Oh, you saying what my fans want to hear." You know what I'm saying? That people have said that about me, and I could say their names, but I'm not going to do it.
People say it about. I'm just saying some of this is our fault, and not you in particular. I'm just talking about in general. We have been in this community. I've played to it sometimes, and I got tired of playing to it. I speak what I feel. I feel what I speak, and it don't mean I'm gonna be right every time. Sometimes I am gonna be right. But people get too emotional. Let's just be real here, man. Some of y'all get not nobody in this podcast.
I might get
too many people.
I'm not getting emotional.
People get. I know. I said some people get emotional. They want to cut you off and don't want to talk to you no more. Look, man. If you taking it that serious, then this might not be for you. Like that's just my honest opinion. Because to me, it gets to a point that where we're too grown to be operating like man babies, man. That's just real. I said that, man baby. But we crying in these comment sections. We going at each other like it really matter. It don't matter. And that's why I be laughing at my own comment section because it's like, dude, y'all going harder than I went in the video. So it ain't big enough deal. The ports, we have different of opinion with the ports. We try to gain understanding by talking to each other. I think we had a good podcast. I enjoyed it. Actually got to talk to a person I ain't got to talk to in a long time. That's Mizzah Tee. We ain't talking in a while. Yeah. Good to have him on. Good to have Shadow Fox. I was kind of leery. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't know how Shadow Fox was gonna be. I told Sean, like, man, I don't know where Shadow Fox gonna take us.
Well, that's the thing. It's people when you start talking to people one-on-one, then all everything that other stuff goes away. Like all the assumptions and what the person that's what talking to people does.
And that's my point, and that's what I was going to. Like, if we get past, like, I would go even back to when I made my first response to the podcast. Yeah. if I went back just to see what did I misstep? Did I say something that would? I listened to it and I was like, it's no different than the video I just made when I responded to you, T.
Yeah.
It was the same vein. It was about the issue. It wasn't personal. But like I said, you can't control how the person on the other end is going to take it.
And in my video, like at the end, what did it say? It said, if you feel like I'm talking about you, basically, if you feel like you've been slighted,
we could talk about
let's
it.
talk about it, right? That's what I'm saying. That's why I didn't want to, because I know what's gonna happen. Like when you do that stuff, dude. There was 2 podcasts in 24 hours in response to my video. Like I'm not gonna go who it was, but there was 2 podcasts definitely in response to my video.
I know one
within a 24-hour period. And I'm
like,
to
me and you.
You could have just talked to me. Like you could have just. I gave you the opening to say if you thought I was talking about you in a bad way, let's talk about it. Like that's it. This is about video games. This is not personal. Right. Like at the end of the day, like this is just games. Like, come on.
My thing is, like I told a lot of folks, even back in the day when Shoke was going at back and forth and people get mad at him. It ain't no big deal, folks. If you didn't like something I said towards you or vice versa, you free to come on the podcast. I invited folks who I know that might have certain feelings towards me because of what I said. I've invited them. If they don't want to come, I can't force you to come. But I can tell you all day long, I ain't got no problem with you. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing. I ain't waking up worrying about you. You know what I'm saying? But we need to see more of this in the community if we really want to see this community change. Because right now, you something you said in your video, Mizzah Tee, and then we can let everybody else jump in. You said people can't make gaming videos. You know, it's all about the drama and all this type of things like that. And I would say that the reason they can't because the community don't respond to it.
Yeah,
that's very true.
That's true.
I watched. I mean, you got the T plays. I think that's what it's called, right?
Yeah.
T plays or play T.
I might get 100 views if I'm lucky.
Yeah, you get it. But if you put up a video and it got something like hypocrite in it, or you get 1,200 views.
Clickety click.
That's the right. So that's the community telling you what they appetite is for. So a lot of the problem with this community is this is what these people want. And when you break free from that and when you remove yourself from that, they don't want to hear you talk games. They don't want to hear you talk about ideas. There's one dude on here that talk about ideas all the time. I can't think of his name. He always has a video with an idea for this game, an idea.
Yeah,
it gets no views and he good, but he won't get no. But let him drop a video and say Mizzah Tee suck. I guarantee you have
1,000 views in 30 seconds.
You know, so we as the providers of the content have to be conscious of the fact that we can control that. You know, and of course they're gonna run us. But if we all had that mindset, look, man, I ain't gonna feed into the drama as much. You know, disagree different things. We disagree. It wasn't drama, but we can allow the comment section to make it be drama when it don't have to. And this is a conversation me and I sit down and had with everybody on my podcast. We talk about it all the time, especially me and Shaw. The drama get old to me, and it ain't serious enough to be wasting my time over some games, man. It just ain't real enough for me. So my aim has always been is to bring perspective and balance to all that. And sometimes I do what I do just to be a balance. Like I challenge even those who listen to me to be balanced. Like I'm not gonna be you thought I was the super white knight. That's what they thought for a long time with level. I'm the white knight because that's what they thought they was hearing. But when I shared my other side and I said slap yourself to eat water, then all of a sudden they get sensitive. This is me. If you really want me, then you're gonna like all of what I do. You ain't gonna just accept my praise and can't accept my criticism. And that's what I want to see happen more. But I'm glad y'all came on. I feel like we at least had a decent conversation. I don't know how much we accomplished, but
Man,
Probably not
nice
much,
to have
but-
you guys on.
I ain't glad you've been on her. All this Nintendo talk, Jesus Christ! I can't even get my Sony in.
You better get on this Switch train, man.
No, I actually think the Switch looks pretty cool. I ain't gonna front. I think it looks pretty cool. I'm not hating on the Switch. I think I might actually get. I told Levelhead several times. I may actually get one that continues. Now, I just understand. I'm not a hater when it comes with it. And Level has told you the reason why I don't like Nintendo is the games on the system. That's why I don't like the Nintendo.
They don't appeal.
I don't play platformers. So I don't.
Yeah, he in the platform.
Oh, well, yeah, you're not a Nintendo fan.
Exactly. I don't play.
But you got Nintendo fan that don't. They say the Nintendo fan don't play platforms either.
Yeah.
So
I'm just saying. I even say I think Zelda looks cool. But the thing is, yeah, I think it looks really good. But the thing is, and you say I'm not buying for one game. I think the Switch, if it continue to look the way it is, I'll get one. I have no problem. I've gotten an Xbox every generation. So that's not. I'm not a Sony fan. I only get Sony. I've got an Xbox every generation.
Bullshit.
Hey, you can come to my house and check it. So
What's that?
you went to the pawn shop and got them consoles, man.
There's one sitting upstairs right now. But yeah, that's how it is. But all the Nintendo talk, I'm done, man. I just can't take it no more. I'm about to go sleep.
All right. Yeah, let's go ahead and start breaking out because we getting close to super late. I ain't even get to see. I forgot all about the gaming video awards, whatever.
Yeah,
you ain't missing nothing.
You ain't missing.
And the football game and the basketball game.
Right. I don't even know if my boys lost or won. Shaw,
Don't tell me you're a Cowboys fan.
Who,
No,
me?
I'm
No.
not a Cowboys.
I was going for
I'm talking-
Minnesota because I
I'm
hate the
talking about-
Packers and I need Minnesota to win to stay above them.
Sean?
It's all about that drone life. Forget you, Sony ponies, and then you Nintendo fags, and you PC subclass race.
See that he let you know how far he go back with it. Like I said, I said this. If you follow me, if you was in the podcast back in the day when I was, I've been saying this. My whole thing is to bring balance, man, and perspective to all our narratives, man. Sometimes we can play into things we don't even know we playing into it, and it don't even be intentional. It'd be unaware. And I started seeing it with myself that I was playing into a narrative that I wasn't intentionally playing into, but once I stepped back from it and looked at it, I'm like, I am playing into a narrative because I can tell by the comments that I'm getting.
Side, man.
Yeah, and once I broke,
you either with us or you against us, man.
once I broke, and I just started. I get pitchforks and something. I don't know. I just be me, man. I'm not saying nobody is like that.
Get
I'm
down
just
and lay
saying,
down, man.
But D2K, you got anything you want to add before we get out of here?
I just want to say it was a good podcast. It was nice to get the chance to talk to Shadow Fox and Mizzah Tee. Keith didn't hear much from him. It was nice to talk to him anyway.
He'll be back. Keith is gonna be back all the time.
Yeah. So it was a good podcast, and like we were saying earlier, it's good to be able to get everything out in the open and hear what people actually have to say and what they're thinking. It's a lot different when you have a live microphone in front of you versus when you're typing something,
Right?
or doing the video or recording where you can edit things. You say, "Whoop! I shouldn't have said that." So it's a lot different thing when live bullets are flying. So it seems like everybody's on the same page. We're all gonna have differing viewpoints, but it seems like overall we're on the same page about all the topics that we talked about today. So that's always good to do.
Cool. Keith?
Yeah, it was a good podcast. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to say much. Like I said, it was like trying to play double dutchers here, man.
Especially when you get cats like Mizzah Tee don't know how to shut up.
Man, I let it get. I broke down a little bit. And didn't I should have kept a little bit balance like I typically do, but it's all good. Go ahead. My bad.
I mean,
you do better next time.
Y'all was airing it out, and that's pretty much what the community needs. You know what I mean? Just air it out. Cable, how you like that survey? I'm glad you're gonna get a Switch.
I could possibly get a Switch. Don't be putting words in my mouth. It'll be
he getting the Switch now, but no, it was a good podcast.
He gonna wait and see if everybody like it first, then he'll jump.
Everybody like it. You don't know me player.
Go ahead, man. Say your
I'm
final
just playing.
thoughts
I'm
and
just
we
playing.
get out of here, man. Go ahead and say your final thoughts.
Yeah, this is good. You know, like for me particularly, it's hard to navigate because I came in kind of a pugilist, a character. I dropped the voice and the action figure stuff a little bit, so it's hard for me to navigate because I was like, I'm trying to put on a show at one point, and I'm also trying to give my real opinions and stuff. So it's hard to like merge those two things together. I'm working on doing that, but this was good. You know, this what needs to happen instead of the sideways responses and podcasts and all that stuff. We should talk about these things, and that way there won't be a lot of arguing based on assumptions and all that stuff. And that's, that, like I said, that's the way I try to approach it, because I didn't want people arguing because, I don't like that person. I want you to focus on what the issue is. And that's, kind of where I was trying to go. But anyway, good cast, had a good time, and yeah, peace.
Okay. Shadow Fox.
All right. Well, first of all, Levelhead, I really appreciate you inviting me on the podcast. I've been a follower for a pretty long time now, so I appreciate all your views and your positivity, and a slick message that you have on the side there. That might be slightly religious, but I appreciate that. There's because it's so much stuff out there that's so far away from that. I'm kind of glad there's still some stuff out there, that because everybody that has this hobby doesn't necessarily see all the good things there are in life. But anyway, I
appreciate that, man. Real talk.
Yeah, real talk. Like, forget the video games, just for real. But regarding the topics talked about today, like I am. Even me playing the devil's advocate thing, a lot of the times they are so separate from opinion, because I'm so stuck on what is grounding your opinion and separating it from objectivity is more the goal of my channel more than anything else. So like in my official stance, I don't even have a stance on the whole port situation. I don't care one way or the other, because I'm going to buy. If there's a game that I want on the Switch, I'm going to buy that game on the Switch. If I have games for Wii U, if I already played them on Wii U, either there's no reason for me to do it, or I'm going to pay that extra $60 because I really want to play it on the go. Like it doesn't really, I'm not really one way or the other.
You're not affected anywhere to go.
But like T has said, just because we do certain things and we talk about certain things all the time, we've already been labeled. I've already been told 4 times already that I'm anti-ports. And I'm like, where's that coming from? So it's just good to clear the air and talk about certain things, so the people that are following us and making these little comments on our videos or whatever and trying to see if there's going to be a big brawl happen, that they see this a little bit more. It's a little bit more than that going on. And, I just want to I just appreciate y'all for being logical, well thought out, drama free, and willing to talk about the issue and not the person.
Right.
Man, like I said, man, I appreciate all you guys coming on. That's my aim. Always have been my aim, man. I try to think through what I'm gonna say, how I'm gonna respond, and if I feel like I'm going down a lane that's gonna lead somewhere, I stop myself. So I ain't saying I've been perfect in it. Sometimes you get pulled in, and you didn't mean to get pulled in, but you got pulled in. But I learned a lot over the years on how to navigate in this community, man. And I think I found me a place that I'm comfortable at. I knew it wasn't going to be no drama because, like I said, I wasn't going to even allow it to be a drama field. And like I said, T know me, man. T know how I flow. And I'm glad that he decided to come on, and he's like, man, I come on. I appreciated it. Hopefully this builds and prompts others to feel a little bit, let the tension down. It ain't no tension. It ain't got to be no tension. So we gonna disagree, and we always gonna do. Man, we disagree right here on all podcasts. We disagree all day long, but at the end of the day, we enjoy talking to each other and communicating. So I appreciate all you guys coming on. Look forward to doing even more of this type of stuff in the future. We have it a little bit more, I guess, structured to where everyone can get an opportunity to speak. But till next time, folks, this was the Live and Level Gamers podcast. Make sure you go to fulleffectgaming.com and check us out. Probably won't be making no video tomorrow because this was pretty long. So you better get all you can get while you can get it. But till next time, folks, deuces.
You are listening to the Live and Level Gamers podcast in association with FullEffectGaming.com. See, we don't play those games. We just play those games.